jersey, the attitude of a champion. Available at Foot Locker.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
The true legends of rock and roll have inspired a legacy that has endured the ages. For 50 years, the NBA has created its own legacy, showcasing the classics, breakout sensations, and performing artists with identities all their own. Live from Cleveland, NBA All-Star Saturday and rock and roll takes center stage on TNT. Born in the USA 50 years ago, the NBA's Golden Anniversary celebration continues in Cleveland, Ohio, where the greats of the music world are enshrined. And the NBA's elite have gathered for All-Star Weekend. They are legendary figures in a half-century of memorable moments. And today we were treated to a photo op for the ages. Tonight they're making tracks for Gund Arena, packed for an evening filled with one-of-a-kind skills exhibited by players who are here by invitation only. TNT presents All-Star Saturday live from Cleveland's Gund Arena. And good evening, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. The next few hours are dedicated to rookies with the energy of Little Richard, shooters whose jumpers float through the air like Sam Cooke's vocals, and skywalkers who can rock a house like Jagger and the Stones. And joining me, a Motown coaching legend. Chuck Daly is here. And Chuck, whether you're coaching in this weekend as you have before or whether you're just here watching, it is so special.
Well, I think this is more special than usual because of the people who are here, the legendary players, and the fact that they're all getting each other's autographs, something they really like to do themselves.
And the photo opportunity this afternoon, just something to behold. Behind me right now, the rookies are warming up for the first event of the night, the Schick rookie game, and we have a couple of grizzled veterans who are going to call it for us in just a moment. What are we going to see? Kobe Bryant, the likes of Kobe and the other rooks. After that, one man, one shot at $1 million, Chuck. His name is Jim Valenti. Later on as the night goes on, it'll be the AT&T shootout. There's Glenn Rice, one of those gunning for fame tonight in the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. Ray Allen is a rook. He's in there. Bob Sura, the hometown favorite, could be heard from also. Behind me, of course, they're warming up for the Schick rookie game, and a couple of wily veterans going to call this thing for us. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. Let's go courtside, guys.
All right, Ernie, we may be wily and we may be grizzled veterans, but we do not play for the Grizzlies, although they have two rookies in the game today, Hubie. And if you want to look at a crystal ball to see what the NBA is going to like with some of the stars down the line, you're going to see it in this game because you're going to see some of the top prospects playing today. And I think that, Hubie, this is only the fourth year of this game. It is picking up incredible momentum, and we're getting close games and exciting games, and it's really taking on a great identity.
Well, the fans love the game. It's great exposure for the 16 players that are chosen. And then as you look at the past, we've had very competitive games. They've been decided by 2, 4, and 6 points. One of the games in overtime. The 3 MVPs, Penny Hardaway, Damon Stoudemire, and Eddie Jones, have all stepped up to the next level and have made a major dent beyond their first year.
And, of course, a lot of the number 1 draft picks are not playing in this game, which says something about the people who are playing in this game. So what about the fact that these guys want to accomplish something? If you're a rookie out here, what do you want to accomplish in this particular game?
Well, Dick, what you're looking for as a player, you've only been together one practice session for an hour's time. So you're looking that the coaches will give you at least 15 or 20 minutes. You want the shot attempts. You would like everyone to be unselfish. But all-star games are always dominated by guards. They have the basketball. The inside people are at their mercy. So let's hope we see good team play and not too many turnovers.
Speaking of turnovers, we hope to see a shot that people are going to be anticipating, and that is the American Express $1 million shot that comes up right after this game. For more, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Dick, after spending a considerable amount of time with Jim Valenti this week, both at his home in Florida and also at All-Star Weekend in Cleveland, I'm beginning to like his chances to make this $1 million shot for 3 reasons. Number 1, he owns his own resort and doesn't need the money. Number 2, he does his own TV commercials and doesn't freeze in front of the camera. And number 3, he and his coach, Oscar Robertson, have tried throughout the practice sessions to closely maybe stimulate the pressure of the moment. They went to a sold-out arena in Orlando between the first and second quarters last week for that game between Orlando and Houston. He made 1 out of 4. And at the All-Star Jam session, they gave him the exposure of thousands of cameras and media. He took his shot, banked it off the backboard, and it went in. So I think his chances to make this mill, I make him even money. Ernie?
All right, thank you, Segs. And add to the equation the fact that his wife, Kathy, is celebrating a birthday tonight. How about $1 million for a birthday present? But only Chuck Daly was able to pull that thing off. First order of business tonight, the new kids on the block. First-year stars in the NBA showcase, the Schick rookie game. Vitaly Potapenko, he's a hometown favorite. And here are others you'll see. It's All-Star Saturday on TNT. Thanks for being here, folks. Settle in.
NBA All-Star Saturday Night on TNT is brought to you by the Schick Racer FX, designed for sensitive skin. By Castrol Syntec, the synthetic motor oil that protects in ways other oils can't. By Genuine Chevrolet, the cars found in more driveways across America, the cars more Americans trust. By the Fannie Mae Foundation, showing America a new way home. And by Foot Locker, where it all began.
Don't expect too much from yourself, Michael.
Start on varsity.
You can't play at the level of North Carolina. Be realistic.
Forget the team. Think of yourself. Why go back to basketball? You'll embarrass yourself.
That enough?
Just getting started.
In yet another torture test, we drained the oil from this car and added just this much Castrol Syntec. We then ran it over 100 miles per hour and waited, and waited, and waited. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts, protecting them under the most torturous conditions. And if a little Syntec protects this well, imagine what a full oil change can do. Castrol Syntec Full Synthetic protects in ways other oils can't.
Hello, Sci-Fi Channel. Mike Nelson on the Satellite of Love, Lost in Space.
Mike Nelson or Billy Movie?
Oh, the pain.
Hey, come on, guys. I'm trying to access the Sci-Fi Channel's movie library. Think of it, their movies and Mystery Science Theater 3000. What a combo.
Man, can I get fries with that?
Hold on, I'm picking something up.
I've seen this one 1,000,000 times.
Mystery Science Theater 3000. 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern. Sci-Fi Saturday.
Cocaine abusers don't believe they're sick. They'll lose their friends, jobs, even families before they seek help. At Lifeline, we've helped thousands end the nightmare of cocaine. If you or someone you care about has a cocaine problem, call Lifeline. But please do it now, before someone you love just blows their life away. 312-275-9393. Lifeline, the shortest distance between addiction and recovery.
Welcome back to Cleveland, an all-star weekend. And in just a moment, we're going to take you back inside Gund Arena. But first, let's spend a moment or two in the Turner Arena. Regular viewers of Inside the NBA on Tuesday night know that this is our virtual reality venue, which this week features the TNT Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let me give you the nickel tour through the Walk of Fame. This wing dedicated to breakout sensations like former NBA Rookies of the Year Wes Unseld and Jerry Lucas, and others who have taken the fast track to greatness or the stairway to heaven. You know, even legendary acts were rookies once upon a time. Remember the first time that you heard the Beatles harmonies? Oh, we had all those 45s. Used to sing them in the house all the time. And they still sound great. Same story with James Brown, the godfather of soul. Still popular. Worth the Super Bowl. And so it is with breakout sensations in the NBA. Remember the rookie year of the artist formerly known as Lou Alcindor? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Or the first-year emergence of lifelong New York Knick, Patrick Ewing. Or how about the first time you witnessed the all-around brilliance that is Grant Hill's game? Tonight, some NBA rookies with designs on greatness are ready to rock Gund Arena. It's the Schick rookie game.
All right, and we're getting ready for the introductions of the rookies competing. And for that, let's go to the Cleveland Cavaliers public address announcer, Jeff Shreve.
And now the participants in the 1997 Schick rookie game. First, the West team. He started playing in the NBA in 1948 and coached until 1982. The coach with the most wins in New York Knicks history and coaching the West team, Red Holzman. Assistant coach for the West in his 5th year on the Los Angeles Lakers bench, Larry Drew. The trainer for the West is Ted Arzonico from the New Jersey Nets. Injured and unable to be here from the Minnesota Timberwolves, Stephon Marbury. Also injured and unable to participate from the Dallas Mavericks, Samaki Walker. This big man has added inside power since moving into his team's starting lineup. From the Los Angeles Clippers, please welcome Lorenzen Wright. This player is battling for the rookie lead in block shots and field goal percentage. From the Vancouver Grizzlies, Roy Rogers. This Canadian point guard has a natural grasp for running an offense. From the Phoenix Suns, Steve Nash. A rookie point guard who found himself in the starting lineup. From the Houston Rockets, Matt Maloney. This 7-foot center was an academic All-American in his last year at UConn. From the Los Angeles Lakers, Travis Knight. This high-flying guard dunks and can score from outside or in traffic. From the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant. This speedy point guard has provided his team with valuable contributions at the point guard spot off the bench. From the Los Angeles Lakers, Derek Fisher. An agile forward and the co-rookie of the month for December. From the Vancouver Grizzlies, Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Now the East team. He's been involved with the NBA since 1946, and his name has become synonymous with the Celtics. The head coach of the East team, Red Auerbach. Assistant coach for the East in his first year as an assistant in Atlanta, Bill Henslick. The trainer is Gary Briggs from your Cleveland Cavaliers. This inside force scored 23 points in only his second pro game. From the Boston Celtics, Antoine Walker. This This big man has provided his team with stability in the post and a shot-blocking presence. From the Indiana Pacers, Eric Dampier. He shared December's Rookie of the Month award. From the New Jersey Nets, Kerr Kittles. The 1996 NCAA Player of the Year and number 2 pick in the 1996 draft. From the Toronto Raptors, Marcus Camby. This sharpshooter ranks atop all rookies in three-point shooting. From the Milwaukee Bucks, Ray Allen. Point guard leading all rookies in scoring. The 1996 number 1 draft pick and November's Rookie of the Month from the Philadelphia 76ers, Allen Iverson. With a quick move to the basket, he's an offensive force on a powerful front line. From the New York Knicks, John Wallace. Big man who leads all rookies from the free throw line. He earned the nickname Ukraine Train while in Wright State. From your Cleveland Cavaliers, Vitaly Potapenko. Ladies and gentlemen, the players in the 1997 Schick Rookie Game.
And there they are, many of the top draft picks and one free agent who came from the CBA, Matt Maloney, who's in the starting lineup for the West. That boasts 3 members of the Lakers, Sharif Abdul-Rahim of Vancouver, and then we have Kobe Bryant, Travis Knight, and Derek Fisher, all from the Lakers, and Matt Maloney from Houston. For the Eastern team, it'll be Antoine Walker and Marcus Camby up front, Eric Dampier from Indiana, the center, Kerr Kittles, and Allen Iverson in the backcourt. Now, here are the rules for this Schick Rookie Game. There are 2 15-minute halves. Personal fouls are counted, but no player can foul out. There are only 8 men on the squad, so they get a chance to show what they can do. And if there is a tie at the end of the game, the first team to 3 points wins the game. And as Hubie mentioned, we have had close games throughout this rookie contest. Last year, Rasheed Wallace hit a jumper, and then Joe Smith missed a 3-pointer as time ran out. And the East won, Hubie, 94-92 in a thriller.
They've been very good. Majority of the time, we get unselfish play. The thing that you're looking for here from a coaching standpoint is you just want the guys to play hard, give the ball up when a guy has an open shot.
The officials working this rookie game, Nolan Fine, Bill Spooner, and Michael Smith, as we take a look at 79-year-old Red Auerbach, who led the Celtics to 9 NBA championships, 8 in a row. And Red Holtzman, who led the Knicks to 2 memorable titles in the 70s and played on an NBA championship team with the Rochester Royals way back in 1951.
When I was in college at Niagara, the following fall, we played 5 exhibition games against the Rochester Royals.
That must have been a thrill.
Oh, come on. It's Bobby Davies and Red Holtzman, Bobby Wanzer, and Arnie Rison was here last night. It was just a thrill. You're absolutely right.
Allen Iverson trying to save it to Kerr Kittles. Teams are wearing their own uniforms. The East in the home white. We're playing in Cleveland, and the West in the darker uniform.
Iverson has 23 points a game. He's had 7 assists, but he's right at the top of the league in turnovers. And you can see right there, that pass, he tried to thread a needle, and the inside guy never got a chance to see it.
Here's Kobe Bryant, who about a week ago became the youngest player ever to start an NBA game. 18 years and 5 months against Dallas, and he is a wonder. Kobe Bryant playing under the pressure of playing with a contender.
Well, you know, when they gave him a starting chance, he averaged 15 points. So, you know, he was doing a bang-up job. He's a 3-point guy, and they also love to post him up.
Kobe Bryant, of course, his dad, Jelly Bean Bryant, played in the NBA. 13th pick from Charlotte, traded to the Lakers. The rights were for Vlade Divac. So on the turnover, it'll be the West ball, coached by Red Holtzman. And here is Derek Fisher, who was the backup point guard before Kobe Bryant actually took over that job for the Lakers. And Bryant went up, had it stripped away, out of bounds. Last touch by the West. Kobe Bryant, who was 21 points twice. Those are the season's high thus far. Antoine Walker tries to get into Camby, who converts.
Well, Camby's had a difficult time in the first half of the year with numerous injuries, but anytime that he has the minutes, he gets it done.
Travis Knight is fouled going in. Interesting story with Travis Knight, who was the 29th pick in the draft by the Chicago Bulls, who renounced his rights. And the Lakers picked him up, and he has played more and more, nearly 15 minutes thus far.
No, you like his effort. He's an excellent offensive board man. He's a good defender. You know, his last 2 years, he averaged 9 rebounds a game at the University of Connecticut. And he has been a pleasant surprise for the Lakers. You love his attitude, Dick.
Eric Dampier committing the foul, and Travis Knight, who has not been a good free throw shooter, hits them both. He has been 54% from the line.
Well, are you his shooting coach? Because I know you had that last one just for, you know, the excitement, right?
Reminding you about Don Nelson putting baskets.
That's right. Very good.
Against the Lakers,
That's
huh?
right.
You think I
win
don't,
the championship.
you don't think we don't look at that film a few times? Here is Camby on a pick and roll to Dampier, loses the ball to Kobe Bryant. And here is his pass to Matt Maloney, and Maloney threw it right in the hands of Antoine Walker. Players who are playing for teams that are not winning get the most playing time, and this is back down the other way. Series of turnovers, and Derek Fisher, the rookie from Arkansas Little Rock, who was the 24th pick, gets the layup to make it 6-2 in favor of the West.
Remember we told you, they just met yesterday. They worked out for less than an hour. And as you can see, we said, let's not have any turnovers. We only had about 13 so far.
They're giving hard fouls, UB, in this rookie game as Gary Kittles has hit going in. So we've already had 7 turnovers in the game, and Kittles will shoot 2.
Now you're going to see Matt Maloney just dish off here to Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher has really made an excellent contribution in the backup point guard role behind Nick Van Exel with the Lakers. He's participated in 44 to 46 games.
3 rookies on a contending team. Right now, the Lakers, the #1 record in the Western Conference, so that says a lot for their maturity.
No, well, you know, the Lakers really like Fisher. He was the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year, and he played at Arkansas Little Rock.
Kobe Bryant from downtown. Kobe Bryant hits a 3, so Bryant now has 5 points of the 9 for the West, who've moved out to a 7-point lead. Kittles missed both free throws at the other end. Here's Allen Iverson beating Camby, and Camby scores. The top 2 draft picks last year, Iverson #1, and Camby, the College Player of the Year, right behind.
I like what I saw right there. Iverson came off, took it right into the lane. He could have forced the shot. Instead, dropped it off.
Here is Raheem, has it stripped away by Allen Iverson. He may be feisty and may be outspoken, but he's spectacular. And he's one to watch. Pass inside to Dampier, who slams it through. Eric Dampier. And I'll tell you, one guy's got to admire that is Wilt. Maloney goes in, has it deflected out of bounds by Kittles. It is still West ball.
Well, Eric Dampier was the 10th pick in the draft by the Indiana Pacers out of Mississippi State, and he stepped in for Rick Smith, who missed quite a few games in the early part of the season. Dampier, they love his talent. Size, long arms, good rebounder, shot blocker.
Here's Maloney firing a 3 and missing. Dampier battling Knight for the loose ball, and it's kept in bounds. Abdur Rahim misses from long range. But you're right about Dampier, who has started 21 games, and of course getting to the Final Four last year with Mississippi State didn't hurt either. And a whistle and a foul as Iverson was fouled trying to beat Derek Fisher off the dribble, and Fisher picking up his first.
When you look at Allen Iverson, you realize that there is no one player who's going to stop him defensively. He is so clever with the basketball. His first step is an explosive step, so he can get a shot anytime that he really wants. He can force up a shot.
That says a lot, and you know, he's not a bad playmaker either. Knight with a great speed from Maloney could not finish the job, but he's fouled. And Travis Knight will go to the line. Talk about Houston Rockets waiting to get back. There was Clyde Drexler.
Now, right out of the CBA, Matt Maloney. This is a nice feed off. What I like about Maloney's doing tonight, he's distributing the basketball. And then once again, we tell you, another factor with Travis Knight, he's 7 foot, but he runs the lanes, Dick.
And there are 2 members of the University of Connecticut Huskies Ray Allen and Travis Knight in this game, and over the top.
You're right. He came out of the mezzanine.
Yeah.
Over the top.
Literally over the top.
That's right.
For the East squad, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Basket interference.
Keep an eye to your left. There's Kobe coming. Now, naturally, it's basketball interference because he held on to the rim with that left hand.
So Vitaly Potamko comes into the game, the favorite of the Cleveland fans. Potamko from Wright State, and the jumper, and it doesn't take long for him to get the cheers of his hometown.
I tell you, Dick, he has great hands. He's excellent face in the basket, and he has a low post game with his back to the basket.
Maloney over to Abdur-Rahim. And look at Kobe Bryant coming out of nowhere and nearly tapped one in. Here's Iverson, 2-on-1 with Kerry Kittles. A couple of former Big East players couldn't convert, and Maloney has Fisher and Bryant with a reverse jam. Kobe Bryant now with 7 points in the game. And the score is 12-8 in favor of the West with 10:33 remaining in the first half. 15-minute halves. Iverson beats his man off the dribble, and he made it look easy.
You're absolutely right. I mean, he just blew by for sure. Okay.
And the leading scorer on his team, you know, he doesn't just shoot, although he'll take the shots, averaging 7 assists as well. Kittles on a nice steal, gets the ball back, and Potamko can't convert out of bounds. And now we're going to go to the bench.
Well, anytime that you watch All-Star games, you know the game's played in peaks and valleys. Plus, there are an awful lot of turnovers. Players like to open up, try to do fancy things. This is an unselfish play. Now here comes Bryant with a reverse.
7 points for Kobe Bryant. Ray Allen of the Milwaukee Bucks has come in the game along with John Wallace, who plays with the New York Knicks. And Wallace will inbound. Camby will inbound the ball. And into the game now, Lorenzen Wright, who replaced Samaki Walker of the Dallas Mavericks. Wright, who was the 7th pick in the draft from the LA Clippers, will be coming in, and a timeout has been called. Each team can call 1 timeout in the first half. Well, time to bring you up to date on what we have coming up on the NBA on Turner next week. Tuesday on TNT at 8 o'clock. The Detroit Pistons, red hot with the sensational Grant Hill against Miami. That'll be a great matchup. Wednesday on TBS at 8 o'clock, the Orlando Magic, who have come back strong after a slump earlier in the year, against the Detroit Pistons. And Friday night, UB will be at Atlanta on TNT at 8 o'clock when the Chicago Bulls go against the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks beat the Bulls earlier this year at the Omni. And tomorrow, of course, on NBC, the NBA All-Star Game beginning at 6 o'clock Eastern.
It's been a great experience, Dick, being in a hotel where the top 50 players, you know, over the period of time of the NBA are staying. And it's really nice. You see Moses Malone here, and Lenny Wilkins was in the previous picture. And Dr. J, you can see the faces here. And then we have Clyde Drexler in your screen. And we know that Clyde had to step out because of a hamstring injury. There's Kevin McHale doing a great job as the general manager. And who's that guy with that green jacket?
Right in the middle. Look at Magic, Jordan, and Bird all right in the middle. And you know what was even amazing? They have this 50th anniversary book with the color photos of all the players, every one of these players getting autographs of the other 50 members like a 6-year-old kid would.
Well, yeah, it's a great time to step back, reflect on the history of the league, because they're the ones that have put the game into the status that it is today. And there's a young fellow right there with a few rings in his drawer, John Havlicek.
They're all here, and they're all going to witness NBA Saturday night. Marcus Camby with a high arcing jump shot, and Lorenzen Wright in the game taps it over to Bryant. 2-point lead for the West with under 10 minutes to go. Kobe Bryant with a reverse layup. Looks like he wants to try to nail down the MVP award in this first half.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Dick, that every time he gets the ball, he's looking at the rim.
Allen Iverson controlling the ball, working against Fisher. He's beaten him off the dribble several times already. Trying to do it again, but this time Roy Rogers in the game, takes it out of his hands, and the feed to Bryant a little behind him. As Hubie mentioned, these guys just got to know each other, but talk about a guy who can pass behind his back as well as anyone even today, the Coos.
Well, I liked when the TNT and the NBA did the film for 2 hours for television. Bob Cousy saying, you know, back in the old days, I was going behind my back and through my legs, and today every kid in the 12 years of age is doing it in the local playground.
But he was the first. Give credit.
That's right.
Steve Nash has come into the game, the rookie from the Phoenix Suns. And Potapico committing the foul, and Maloney will inbound. So Roy Rogers, Lorenzen Wright, Nash, Maloney, and Iverson very nearly with the steal. And missing outside.
Wow. Tough ball.
Lorenzen Wright has his shot blocked away by Campy, and it is still West ball.
Now you're going to see on this loose ball. Now let's just watch right in the middle of your picture, off the hip. Now that's Nash out of Santa Clara, who's playing with Phoenix.
Iverson all over Maloney, and here is Lorenzen Wright. And good defense that time by Potapico, and loose ball. Here's Bryant, and fouled by Camby underneath. He wasn't going to let Kobe get the easy layup there.
Now Kobe Bryant is showing us an awful lot of energy, but I also think that he should, you know, try to play with the other 4 guys that are on the floor right now. Okay. You know, the game will come to you when you play these kind of games also.
He's already taken 6 shots. A little under 9 minutes, so another turnover. And Camby's going to go out, and Antoine Walker comes back in, who played with the national champion Kentucky Wildcats, and Walker playing 32 minutes, as you might expect, starting 31 games for a team that's really having its problems, the Boston Celtics. Ray Allen with a fall away, banks it in against 2 defenders.
Ray's having an outstanding year for a rookie playing the 2-guard position for the Milwaukee Bucks in that starting lineup.
Tied at 12, nearly 8.5 minutes remaining. And Matt Maloney hits the jump shot. There's an Iverson fan. Too early to get the autograph, sweetie. Wait till the end of the game. Iverson controlling now, guarded by Nash. Wallace working against Kobe Bryant. And Iverson crashing the boards, and Antoine Walker on the follow tips it in.
Antoine Walker's looking at this game as a night off. You know, this is like playing in the park. Because then when you have to line up night in and night out as the starting center for the Boston Celtics, give away inches and maybe 50 pounds and get pounded physically.
And leading the team in rebounds at 6'9". Last guy to do that was Dave Cowens, the redhead. Potapico with the basket, his second of the game. Everyone on the East has scored except for Kittles and Wallace now. And Lorenzen White at the other end with an acrobatic shot. The score now is 16 all with 7:45 and running remaining in the first half. Rogers guarding Walker. Walker in the lane. That was reminiscent of Magic's shot ever against the Celtics. Is Bill Russell, another former member of the Green. Nash misses a 3, and here comes Iverson. Finding Walker. Well done by Iverson, and Walker filling the lane. 4-point East lead. Now Bryant setting it up. He's guarded by Antoine Walker. Matt Maloney's played the entire game thus far for the West. And Bryant takes yet another shot and hits it. A 3-point basket, his second of the game. And Kobe Bryant now with 10.
Well, Jerry was in love with his talent. You can see already he's a definite 3-point player. He's excellent off the dribble. He can post up with his back to the basket, and he can fly in the open floor.
And better than Jerry said he expected.
Well, you know, 6'6" stick. He's got the total package.
Long rebound on Walker's miss to Nash to Maloney, and it looked like he might have been fouled, but timeout will be called. It'll be East ball. 1-point lead for the East rookies in this Schick rookie game. 6:35 remaining in the first half.
And this is a guy thing, right?
Schick brings you the shaving system for sensitive skin.
Is this a sensitive part?
Designed to give a smooth shave with less irritation. Schick Tracer FX.
The sensitive type? I like that.
Designed for the man with sensitive skin, Schick Tracer FX.
Someday, my office will have a window. Someday, my boss will be me. Someday, I will meet the man of my dreams. Guess not today.
The Chevy Camaro's 200 horsepower, 3800 V6. Therapeutic, isn't it?
Good morning.
What can I do for you?
2 copies, please.
Yesterday, Evelyn Hartwell fulfilled a dream big enough to change her life, small enough to hold in her hand. She got the keys to her first home.
Thank you.
By the way, congratulations.
For a free guide that can help you get a home of your own, call the Fannie Mae Foundation. We're showing America a new way home.
Couple of guys named Red coaching this game. Red Holtzman, 14 years the Knicks head coach. And, of course, the legendary Arnold Red Auerbach, 16 years. He is the one link throughout the Celtics lore, currently president of the team. And right now, let's go to one of the former MVPs of this rookie game with Penny Hardaway, is Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Dick. Obviously, Penny, you have a lot of fond memories, 94 MVP. What were some of your memories like?
Well, I think the biggest thing I remember is Doug Collins triple teaming me. That's probably the biggest thing I remember about the rookie game. I was yelling at him saying, hey, this is a rookie game, all-star game, man. Let me play.
Let me tell you, who's really standing out in your mind in this game so far?
Well, I think Antoine Walker. I have to give props to my man Lorenzen Wright. Ray Allen. I think those guys are really standing out right now.
All right, thanks a lot, Penny. Let's go back to you, Dick.
You're not surprised about Doug Collins' eager style in this game, are you? The All-Star game?
No, and you know what it was? The guys that time that year were it was very competitive from the coaching standpoint. They really went after their guys and forced them to play hard. And they at least had at least 3 or 4 set plays that they all put in the day before.
Lorenzen Wright committing the foul, and John Wallace missed the free throw, and Antoine Walker. Well, Penny Hardaway knows wherever he speaks. Antoine Walker, he sees playing well and converts there.
Well, you know, Walker is so talented, Dick. The guy could play almost any position. The Celtics during the course of the year have played him at the point, 2, 3, 4, and now 5.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim coming back. And Potapico with the shot. He has 6 points. So Walker and Potapico now the leading scorers for the East. Sharif Abdur-Rahim and Antoine Walker playing serious defense out there. Here's Nash going down low, and they're going to call Ray Allen with the hold as Travis Knight and Allen Iverson comes back in.
Right now, you got to see Potapenko put this one away. And what I like about him, Dick, he went into the Chicago camp last year. There were 65 players, and he was definitely heads and shoulders over the other 64.
Nash misses a 3, so Potapico, who hails from the Ukraine, goes out of the game. Dampier replaces him, and Kerry Kittle misses the mark. Iverson all over the court, trying to get every rebound and every steal. Oh, yes. And there is Sharif Abdur-Rahim, who is the leading scorer on the Grizzlies at 17 a game and their second leading rebounder, and he's playing nearly 34 minutes of action. Allen missed from outside, gets the pass back from Kerry Kittle, and a blind reverse layup misses Rogers with the rebound. 26-23, the East leading with 4:50 to go, and they claim that Kittles had stepped out of bounds, so it'll be West ball.
Now on this finish, you're going to see to the right of your screen, Abdur-Rahim. Now, this young guy is the total package. When you realize that he would only be a sophomore in college this year at the University of California, he has it all. He can run, dunk is there, good with the basketball, off the dribble, good post-up player. He doesn't have a lot of weight as of yet, but In the next couple of years, you're going to hear big things about him.
Travis Knight hits wide open from the corner. Abdur Rahim out of the University of California is ranked among the top 5 in about 5 or 6 categories amongst these rookies. Kobe Bryant back in there for the West. Dampier overnight. Knight doing a solid job. Got a piece of that one.
He sure did.
And here is Bryant, and Iverson knocked it away from behind. And a 3-on-1 break, and Marcus Camby, he ought to be in the slam dunk contest with that move.
That was pretty.
Camby with 6. And it's 28-25, the East leading with 4:12 to go. Roy Rogers missed. Inside, no foul. Camby with an alley-oop. Oh, Kerry Kittles, and was that a beauty? Remember, these guys haven't worked together.
Kerry Kittles has done a fantastic job, Dick, with the New Jersey Nets. We're talking about a guy who's, up over that 25 mark a number of nights. Everybody is kind of surprised with the numbers that he's putting up there. He's doing a good job shooting-wise and the minutes.
And Larry Brown said Kerry Kittles is the best rookie I've seen in the NBA this year.
That's quite a tribute.
Iverson, no look to Camby, and the East putting on a show now, leading 32-25.
Yeah, you're sitting out there and you're saying, well, why are some of these guys averaging so many points with teams? The other guys are not, and they're in this game. Everything is minutes. Right. You got to have your minutes, and you got to have shot attempts. If you're drafted by a good playoff team, you're not going to get the minutes that some of these other guys are playing on bad teams.
Allen Iverson now with 5 assists in the game as he feeds Camby, who has 8 or 10. So Camby with 10, and it's 35-24, an 11-point lead for the East. And Allen Iverson is a show, isn't he?
Look, he has had over 35 in games. Now, when he cuts down on his turnovers, and he starts shooting a higher percentage by getting into like 46 to 48%, then his scoring, who's going to stop? This is just a great drop-off pass, and it can be because he just can fly by anyone. Cut back the turnovers, shoot a higher percentage, don't make the game difficult. And when he gets this all together, watch out, because he's the best player that can get you 50 in a game.
Every member of the East squad of 8 has scored in this game, and now Derek Fisher is on the free throw line. He was fouled by Marcus Camby. Fisher replacing Stephon Marbury of Minnesota, and while he's here and not playing, Marbury is a great story coming out of Georgia Tech and really doing the job. You mentioned the great job that Kevin McHale has done with 2 great jobs, Kevin Garnett and Marbury, 2 fine young players.
Well, you say Gugliotta, Garnett as your cornerstones, and in Marbury in the backcourt. You have 3 of the great young talents that we have in the league. Plus, they are playing to their potential. It's a big player having potential, not getting it done. These 3 guys are doing it.
That was Dampier on the slam. Kobe Bryant, who does not have many assists, as Allen Iverson is taking a shot. There is Joe Bryant. Maybe that's a strategy. Look, you're 18, who knows?
Jelly Bean was in the league for a number of years and then ended up his career over in Europe. Kobe, naturally the family traveled with Jelly Bean, and what happened when they were over there is that Kobe had his education, speaks fluent Italian. It was a great experience for their family.
That was against the Dallas Mavericks, youngest player ever to start an NBA game. Matt Maloney will replace Derek Fisher in the lineup for the West. Maloney, 25 years old, is the oldest of the players in this Chick rookie game. Bryant with the free throws makes 1. He has 11 points. 8-point lead for the East, 36-28 with 2:40 now remaining in the first half. Kerry Kittles for 3. He's got it. Kittles coming in as the 3rd leading scorer on his team, the Nets.
Well, he can make the threes, Dick. And also, if you fall asleep, he's very quick to the basket off the dribble.
Knight bounces it into Roy Rogers. Just off the front rim, and Marcus Camby into the hands of Antoine Walker. Here's Walker with a move, and Dampier follows up. And as Hubie mentioned, when you get a chance to play, and Dampier got a chance because of the Rick Smith injury, and he made the most of it. Missing for 3, Kobe Bryant, and there's Travis Knight against Wallace converting.
The advantage of having a baby hook shot. That was a nice move by Travis.
Camby at the other end comes back. with under 2 minutes to go, it's 43-30. Rick Barry looking on, and you've got to be amazed at what these rookies, the talent that they have now. Here's Kobe Bryant, picks up the loose ball on the bounce pass. Bryant now with 13 points. He is the game-high scorer. Marcus Camby leads the East with 12. Here's John Wallace firing a three. Wallace this year has only tried 3 from downtown and hit once, and that's not been his shot. Not so for Maloney. Misses as well from three-point range. And no-look pass goes nowhere for Antoine Walker. Bill Murray in the crowd. And watching this great weekend here in Cleveland's Gund Arena.
This is just a nice pass right down in. Nice pickup by Kobe Bryant. You know, during the summer, Dick, Kobe Bryant, for the LA Summer League team, he averaged 25 points a game. And that opened the eyes of all of the free agent players, CBA guys, players who were drafted by the teams who participate in the LA Summer League. So not only did he have the talent, he was drafted, the trade was made, Vlade Divac from LA to Charlotte, Kobe Bryant to the LA Lakers. They put him in the Summer League. He delivers. He shows you that he can score. Now we know that there's the Summer League, then the exhibition, then the regular season, and the playoffs. So there are really 4 seasons of intensity, meaning the defense and then how you have to stay within the offensive philosophy.
Kobe Bryant, of course, is going to be a busy guy tonight. On this All-Star Saturday night, he's one of 6 contestants in the slam dunk contest. Ray Allen as well. Bob Sura, who played in the rookie game last year representing the Cavaliers.
That is just a nice... No, that was a loose ball, and it just carried right on through to Bryant. But like I said, that was a nice pickup.
Bryant has 13 points and 6 rebounds. Knight is second with 7 points. Camby with 12 points, and Walker with 8 lead the East. As we wind down to a minute remaining in this first half, Maloney has it deflected by Iverson. Gets the ball back and has it rejected by Dampier out of bounds. So a tip ball by Iverson and a sheer rejection.
We had a double block. Iverson, you see it right here. And then as the ball hits and goes, Maloney makes a nice move. He thinks he has it. Dampier just sends it out of here.
And Maloney goes in again. Boy, he's getting a lot of resistance trying to get off an outside shot or a layup. And Kittles from Iverson. So Terry Kittles he's waiting to get back and help the Houston Rockets.
Well, that guy in the picture has done many of those dunks, you know, in here. The acrobatic shot and catch.
He's one of the 5 slamma-jammas at the University of Houston. Dampier with a good outlet to Iverson. This time he'll take it himself. He had Camby there, but Allen Iverson with the basket, his second, but he's been active. And a 15-point lead for the East rookies. 24 seconds to go. Iverson has Camby. This time he goes to the big guy. And it's now 49-32, a 17-point lead for the East. Maloney goes through a crowd. Great no-look pass to Abdur Rahim. That was a great pass by Maloney. He's giving the Rockets what they need in that department. Kittles from Iverson, and the East is beating the West down court. Iverson has 8 assists here in the half.
So, you know, during the regular season, when guards drive and get inside the lane, because of team defensive velocities, people automatically rotate back. In all-star games, you don't have that. All the players play under different defensive rules. So, you know, you see a lot of sloppy play. You see a lot of fast break basketball.
And you see a lot of spectacular play. A lot of that from Allen Iverson. Travis Knight got that last basket, and at the half, here at the Schick rookie game, the East leading the West by a score of 51-36.
Always and forever, each moment with you is just like a dream to me that somehow... Always and forever.
mother.
What's this? He's got it. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
No more. No more.
Wait, this isn't me. I gotta play with decency, honesty. I gotta play clean.
Nice shot.
Sean, come up here, boy. Ain't nothing out this late but the devil.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Okay.
Well, that furry temptress seems like she's calling your name.
Yeah.
She said, come on, Rashawn. I said, I swear that I would never.
Hey, Judge, we're going to do this or what?
Booty call. Tell your mother I say hello here.
Rated R. Opens everywhere February 26th.
A father and his son square off in a head-to-head half-court battle. The father, a former NFL star, can't stop his son.
Hill gets the basket. What a terrific play by Grant Hill.
Playing his dad made Grant Hill feel like he could do anything. Now, on court in the NBA, he can.
Thanks, Dad.
See the NBA's best every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday night on TNT and TBS. Don't miss a game.
Saturday in the park in the summertime means a trip to the Jake. All-Star Weekend in Cleveland. Well, it has to include a visit to the Flats for a little nightlife. At least that's what Chuck Daly tells me. And a trip to Gund Arena for All-Star Saturday. And you're looking at the blimp shot from the Goodyear blimp, the 72nd consecutive year that a Goodyear blimp has covered the nation's top sporting events. You know, they play 15-minute halves in the Schick rookie game. They've scored 87 points in the first half. You don't usually see that in 15 minutes of play at the home of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but that's the story here as the East enjoying a healthy lead over the West. Marcus Camby has 14 points. Kobe Bryant has 13. Ernie Johnson and Chuck Daly here. And if you like your stuff up and down here, Chuck, we got it.
Well, we've got 17 turnovers, but I'll tell you, a lot of the league officials would love to see the game played this way, up and down. We played a slow game in Seattle the other night and had 20 turnovers and a half, but Allen Iverson's been the story.
He certainly has. He's not the leading scorer by any means, but he has been dishing, and Marcus Camby can thank Allen Iverson for a lot of his 14 points. Now, still to come tonight, folks, we've got the American Express $1 million shot. It's going to be taken by 49-year-old Jim Valenti. You see him there. His name was drawn at random after a 13-month nationwide contest was held at Champs Sporting Goods. He's getting ready for his moment, and we turn it over to Craig Sager. Thanks.
Well, Ernie, since Jim Valenti's name was drawn on January 23rd, he's been practicing the same shot from the same position for virtually 2 hours a day. Now, the two-hand set shot may be a thing of the past, but I actually think it's to his advantage. Despite small hands, he can now get a firm grip on the ball that is steady but gentle. And also the stance allows him to get more legs and body into the shot, making it easier for the ball to get to the basket and with more control. The last-minute advice from Oscar Robertson was, it's not a tough shot. It's all in the knees, all in the legs. Don't force it. And that's advice from the Big O, who has won virtually every award in the history of the NBA, including Rookie of the Year in 1961 when he averaged over 30 points a game and 10 rebounds. So the Big O giving advice to Jim Valenti. And we come back, we'll have more Rookie Memories as we continue our All-Star coverage on TNT.
NBA All-Stars Saturday night on TNT is brought to you by Jeep, makers of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and Wrangler, and by Champion.
Yeah, I'm a football guy, but I like the other contact sports too. Yes, nothing like the sound of a good hit. Now that's how the game was meant to be played. Only Pro Player has reversible home and away jackets, sweatshirts, and hats for pro teams and college. That guy should have been a linebacker. I've won 2 Super Bowls. I know a winner when I see one. Pro Player reversible jackets. Reverse it.
cocaine abusers don't believe they're sick. They'll lose their friends, jobs, even families before they seek help. At Lifeline, we've helped thousands end the nightmare of cocaine. If you or someone you care about has a cocaine problem, call Lifeline. But please do it now, before someone you love just blows their life away. 312-275-9393. Lifeline, the shortest distance between addiction and recovery.
Hello, Sci-Fi Channel. This is Mike Nelson on the Satellite of Love, Lost in Space.
Mike Nelson or Billy Movie?
Oh, the pain. Hey, come on, guys. I'm trying to access the Sci-Fi Channel's movie library. Think of it, their movies and Mystery Science Theater 3000. What a combo.
Hey, can I get fries with that?
Hold on, I'm picking something up.
I've seen this one a million times.
Mystery Science Theater 3000. 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern. Sci-Fi Saturday.
In Cleveland, Kobe Bryant has 13 points and 6 rebounds. But everybody from the East has scored, and they have a 15-point lead at halftime of the rookie game. Oscar Robertson is probably the only player who gave a clinic every time he stepped on the court. And right now he's giving his last-minute advice to Jim Valente, who after the rookie game will have one shot for $1 million. You know, changing times and evolving dynamics make it difficult to compare players of different eras. But I think it's safe to say that the rookies of today do not have the same rookie orientation.
Those were the days, my friend.
I didn't go for all that rookie orientation stuff, you know. I said, if you want me to get rebounds for you, leave me alone.
We thought they'd never end.
My teammates had a funny sense of humor. Said me to sit in the left when I should have been sitting in the right. So I got dunked on a lot.
Singing time forever and a day.
I had to carry bags and stuff like that, and of course I was the dumb rookie, and I made all kind of rookie mistakes, and they had so many laughs.
Live the life we choose, we fight and never lose.
Oh, you were tired all the time, not from playing, from carrying guys' bags. You know, I had to carry Docs and Moses, Maurice Chief, Andrew Tony bags. We had to take Andrew Tony warm milk every night. We had to take Doc a paper every morning.
Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days.
I think now, you know, you tell a rookie to do that, and they're not going for it, and no one is really pressuring to do it now. I think when we came in, it was just a ritual, and we felt that we had to do it.
I think the number one thing I always had a love for the game of basketball, and I was reading an article today in USA Today, and I guess Jordan and Barkley and all those players talked about playing for the love of the game. I think when I first came in, I wanted to develop my game first and then hopefully get paid. But I think nowadays, sometimes some of the younger players, not all of them, sort of reverse that mentality. Rookies come in and they're making a lot of money and they're expecting and they get seen so much on TV and stuff, all the stuff that happen now, making the rookies not as humble as I think they should be.
Coming up, my friends and I always talked about, man, one day you're going to have your own shoe.
I never got my own shoe or had Charles Barkley jerseys in stores. You know, that stuff that happened to the league. You made all the stuff team 5 or 6 times. Now if you come into the league, they got your jerseys, you got a commercial, you got your own shoe. When I came in the league, I had so much respect for Truck. I mean, I looked up to him. I'm not sure guys coming in the league looking up to Karl Malone like they should, and Michael and Charles Barkley, Keem like they should. You know, because those are great players, and you need to look up to them and actually learn from them.
I don't think any of them really know about the history of the game. This whole thing with the NBA at 50 is probably an enlightening experience for them so that they understand that there were basketball players prior to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Not as humble as they should be, lacking in respect, no sense of NBA history. Let's get a rookie's view. Kobe Bryant watched that piece and then spoke with Cheryl Miller.
You have to look at it from both perspectives. You know, I can understand where the older players are coming from. At the same time, the younger players coming into the league, I don't know if this is a sign of disrespect, but all the younger players want, speaking as myself as well, we want what they have. You know, they want to achieve what they've been able to achieve and able to accomplish. So I don't think in the younger players' minds we're really disrespecting the other players, but I think in their mind, from their own experience, we are.
And you can get in trouble, I think, Chuck, when you make blanket statements like, these kids don't do this, these kids don't do that. What's your take on this relationship at this point?
You know, I agree with you, Ernie. I think the fact it's kind of a false sense of not security, but they, I think down deep, they respect these people. And I think the game, as the years go by, teaches humility. When you don't make all-star teams, when you lose big series, it has a way of kind of leveling the field.
The NBA's rookies have the All-Star spotlight on All-Star Saturday here on TNT. It's 51-36, the East with the lead. Nobody's ever scored 100 in this game. Could happen tonight. Second half coming up.
Monday on CNN's Burden of Proof, the jury in the Simpson civil trial calculates how much he'll pay in punitive damages.
Could he lose his Rockingham mansion? Monday, 12:30 Eastern on CNN.
50, Nestle brings you One-on-One, a matchup of NBA stars, past and present. Dave Bing is considered the Detroit Pistons' first true superstar. He was a fierce competitor and a smooth offensive player who led the league in scoring in 1967. Today, Joe Dumars might be considered Detroit's unsung superstar. This five-time All-Star has been an important cog in the Pistons' engine with his offensive spark, defensive tenacity, and quiet leadership.
Well, there's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in Cleveland, and the East has been rocking and rolling. And while Hubie, most of this year has been superb defensive play that has kept the scores down, and there is Elvis, who did not get in today to see the Saturday, but he is on display, and what a great display it is over at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But the fact is, we're seeing a change of pace in this rookie game than what we see in the regular season, 51-36, and it's up and down. And I think that's what the fans like to see.
Yeah, well, you know, the Western team's struggling. Only shooting 37%. They're 2 for 10 in threes and just can't get it going. And their guards are getting caught. And then Iverson is just breaking the defenses down, just blown by people. So it's a layup drill and a dunking drill. So it's kind of nice if you're cheering for the East. And if you're a Western fan right now, you're not too happy.
Still 15 minutes to go in the second half, and we have had a lot of spectacular play and a lot of great dunks.
Yeah, you can see right there that everyone is getting their chance. The closest thing to defense is the wind that is big on as people are flying through and attacking the rim. A couple of nice lobs. Kittles has had a couple in also. Canby finishing. Kobe Bryant, you know, leading the scoring here for the West with 13 points. And then Canby doing a great job, 14 points for the Eastern team on 7 of 9 shooting.
And you mentioned Allen Iverson, who's taken only 2 shots from the field. He has made both of them, but has 8 assists in the game. So we're underway here in the second half. Sharif Abdur-Rahim of the Vancouver Grizzlies, formerly of the University of California, with a great pass tonight. That was a underhanded pass tonight, who could not convert. So now Iverson with Canby, Kittles, Antoine Walker, and Eric Dampier. Knocked away, but controlled by Dampier. And the Indiana Pacer out of Mississippi State hits the jumper. He has 8.
In the 3 previous games, Dick, we've definitely had much better defense. The players went after one another a little bit tougher than what we're seeing in this evening.
Every year is different, and traveling is called. So Dampier travels, and the West will take over. Again, want to remind you, we got 3 big games coming up next week. TNT on Tuesday, Detroit at Miami on Wednesday on TBS, Orlando at Detroit, and Friday on TNT, the Chicago Bulls against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. All games starting at 8 o'clock. That was Matt Maloney hitting from downtown. That's the 3rd three-point basket for the West. Canby misses the layup, and here's Kobe Bryant, but the East getting back on defense.
Well, the West, they just opened up here now. Play a little defense, knock in a couple of threes, take it to the basket, get some easy layups.
And Canby might have knocked that ball away as Walker and Canby double-team Bryant, and it is a turnover, and it'll be East ball.
Outside of being ice cold, you said the West only shot 37%. They complicated it with 9 turnovers, Dick. When you're playing a 15-minute half, that's a tough.
Antoine Walker with a stop-and-go draws the foul. Abdur-Rahim with the foul. And so Antoine Walker going to the line. He is the Celtics' highest pick in the last 10 years, and he has done a terrific job, as we said, off the boards. And, of course, plays for the team that once led by that man, Larry Bird. But hard times in Boston these days, Hubie.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's hard to play in the league without a center, and they have 3 guys on the injured list who play that position. The team is trying to play with 5, 6'6" to 6'8" players. Antoine Walker doing a terrific job for them. And we know that his true position is probably the small forward. So you have a lot of guys playing out of position there, but they're hustling, they're scrapping, they're trying to do the best they can.
Abdur-Rahim double team, forces it up, and here's Camby, a 4-on-1 right now for the East Stars, and Iverson. There you go. There's a switch and rolls. Camby going to Iverson. Those two have worked it mighty large in the first half, 56-39, and 2 minutes gone by here in the second half.
This is what Kobe Bryant loves to do, and that is post up, throw to fade. Iverson doubled down. Beautiful shot block.
That's the second time Iverson has got a piece of a jump shot attempt from outside. Bryant trying to chase Iverson, who has a low pass into Camby, who draws the foul anyway. Pretty good tandem going on there between the first and second picks in the NBA draft last year. Allen Iverson and Marcus Camby.
Yeah, Marcus Camby really had a very nice first half. Not only the 14 points, 5 rebounds, a couple shot blocks. This is a beautiful lob. Here comes Iverson. Camby gets over the injury stick, gets healthy, builds up his upper body. This guy's going to be a whirlwind in this league.
He's rounding into form and has been a starter lately. Mentioned he's had a string of injuries, including a strained lower back, and that really got him underway in a slow fashion.
You know, he's so quick, the long arms, good defense, rebounder, shot blocker, can play all 3 positions on the front line.
High picked up by Walker. Here is Abdur-Rahim. Kobe Bryant guarded by Kerry Kittles, who throws up an air ball. Kobe Bryant not bashful, is he? For the 18-year-old.
Well, at halftime he had 12 shot attempts, and that was 3 more than anyone else in the game.
He's 5 for 14 right now. Antoine Walker with a layup. Picks up a loose ball, 59-39. A 20-point lead for the East. Nice. And Bryant finally passes one behind his back to Abdur-Rahim, and a nifty one at that. You're seeing a lot of the all-time great 50 in the crowd, and they're all great. Here's Kerry Kittles trying to beat Bryant off the dribble, batted outside. Here's a Maloney and Abdur-Rahim, and the Vancouver Grizzlies with the shot and the basket. 10 points now for Abdur-Rahim. Bryant with 13 and Knight with 9 are the 3 top scorers for the West.
That was Roy Rogers out of University of Alabama that blocked that shot to send him out on the break.
One of the best rookie shot blockers in the league is Dampier is fouled. Right now, let's go to Craig Sager, who's with Urban Magic Johnson. Craig?
Well, Dick, as we all know, the NBA has not always been this popular. There was a time with declining TV ratings, a lack of charismatic players, and then along came Magic. And Urban, I know you enjoy All-Star Weekend. It's been very busy for you this week. Tell us about your weekend.
Well, it's been busy because, first of all, on Thursday, I announced that we're building a Magic Johnson Theater here right after the winter. So this will be my 4th one. And then we got I guess the 50 great players, and I got lucky. I guess somebody decided I was one of those guys. So we've been taking pictures and having parties, really talking with one another, getting autographs from each other. That's been the fun part. Everybody walking around getting each other's autographs. And I'm here to just see, like right now, seeing a rookie game, and I look forward to the slam dunk 3-point contest and the game, of course, tomorrow, because these are our brightest stars, and these are the guys we look forward to carrying us on even after Michael is done.
And 3 of them, by the way, are Lakers. Also, he's been busy retrieving his mail from the hotel because Urban Johnson and Ernie Johnson are similar, and he got a call from Ernie's wife saying that the report card was good news. Dick?
Yeah, that's good, because Ernie was waiting for that report, and it was good news, and that's why you've seen Ernie in a good mood today. Abdur-Rahim has it deflected away. I just hope we get some passes to the latest Magic Johnson Theater.
There you go.
He's saw a terrific, we saw a terrific block from Roy Rogers inside. You mentioned him before.
Yeah, you really like his talent. He's a quick rebounder, quick jumper, long arms, can make it happen for you defensively.
Kobe Bryant with the basket and draws the foul as well. Remember, you can't foul out, but we do count fouls. Knight has 3.
Now you can see at 6'6", this guy's got some talent. Because not only does he have the range factor that you always have to guard against, but he also has the ability to take it off the dribble and go either way on you. So, and he'll eventually end up with a fairly decent shot once he penetrates into the painted area.
Good numbers for Kobe Bryant on the line as Lorenzen Wright replaces Travis Knight, who goes out of the game. Foul was on Potapico, and here is Lorenzen Wright with the baby hook and his second basket.
Now Wright is starting to get major minutes with the Clippers at the starting position, and he has stepped up his game, and it's added to the Clippers' push for the playoffs, because if we started the playoffs today, the Clippers would be the 8th spot in the Western Conference.
7th pick was Lorenzen Wright, and he's averaging nearly 4.5 rebounds. Allen Iverson on a foray is fouled going to the hoop, and the foul is against Steve Nash.
You look at the Clippers, Dick, and you had Stanley Roberts injured again, probably going to have back surgery, the 7-foot center, and then you also have Brian Williams, never re-signed, and there's their coach, Bill Fitch, and Bill has done, once again, an excellent job. And they're always that one major force in the pivot area away from securing that spot.
Here's Wright of the Clippers with a turnaround. Allen and Iverson crash the boards, and here is Ray Allen.
Nice.
So Allen and Iverson with Wallace, Walker, and Potapico in the game right now. Out of bounds, it is still East ball. Iverson has 8 points, 8 assists, and 3 blocks. So he has really been the top player for the East, and maybe in the entire game. Nash trying to defend Iverson. Getting a little fancy out here, and he can do it. Off the rim, Wright with a quick pass to Fisher. 3-on-1 break, and Kobe Bryant doesn't get the layup, but draws the foul, and he'll shoot a pair.
He's fouling the 34, Ray Allen, his third.
Ray Allen committing the foul. And talking with some of the East players, asked them in the dressing room, what is your highlight of the year? To a man, they said, playing against Michael Jordan and being on the same court as the Chicago Bulls. Just playing in a game against the Bulls.
Well, that's not bad. Scotty, NBA first team selection the last 3 years. All defensive player along with that. When you say Scottie Pippen, you're going to get 15 to 25 points. You're probably going to get about 7 to 8 rebounds, along with 7 assists.
In other words, a brilliant all-round player.
Well, I would think so. That kind of numbers.
Antoine Walker foul going to the hoop.
Foul number 8, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant with a foul.
Now, this is just Iverson measuring Steve Nash right here. Let's face it, no one guy's going to stop him off the dribble penetration. He blew by Nash, got down into the lane, and then forced up a tough shot.
John Wallace going strong to the basket and his foul. Wallace, who is out of Syracuse. Lorenzen Wright committing the foul, his second foul.
John Wallace at the line.
Now, Wallace has made an excellent contribution in his rookie year with the Knicks. Now, this is the perfect example of being drafted on the first round and then have to fight for minutes because you're on a playoff team, a veteran team. Larry Johnson's in front of you. He's going to play 36 to 38 minutes. How much time is there for you to get in and get the job done? But he has done an excellent job because he has long arms. He's a good offensive rebounder.
Nash going to the hoop, lays it in. John Wallace, by the way, has played the fewest minutes of anyone on the Eastern team. A little bit too high for Iverson. Let's see if they call Nash with the foul, and they do. So a glimpse at the acceleration of Steve Nash out of Santa Clara. Want to remind you, still to come, we have plenty of activity here from the Gund Arena. The American Express $1 million shot coming up right after this game. The AT&T Shootout and the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. All-Star Saturday night.
Oops, bad pass.
Ray Allen working against Fisher and finally held by Fisher.
You look at this game, and we know we have 16 players here, 15 guys that were drafted in the first round. Then you also have Matt Maloney, free agent, playing for Houston. But people forget there were 12 first-round draft picks who were not chosen to play in this game. That must be a very difficult thing for the player to swallow. Now, you know that Marbury and Samaki Walker are injured or they would be playing. Now, 4 of those 12 players are European players. And 3 of them decided not to play in the NBA. And then only 1, you know, decided to come over here. And he's a backup down there at Miami. And talking about Miami, they only play 7, 8 guys. And they're having a great season. So, you know, you look at it and you say, well, what, gee whiz, you know, why didn't some of those guys make it? It keeps coming down to minutes. Can you get minutes? Can you be seen? And then can you get shot attempts and get a chance to do your dance? That's what it's all about, minutes.
And as we said, Wallace has played the fewest minutes, 13 plus, but most of these players here, these rookies, have been in the 15 to 30 range. So they've had a chance to do their dance.
Absolutely. And that's why you say you never grade them in that first year, because you never know what's going to happen. Isn't it interesting how many people think that John Stockton came in? Oh, look at these 2 old Knicks right there.
Red's looking more into the crowd at those 2 than he is on his own bench, I think, right now. Red Holtzman.
Walt Frazier and Dave DeBuscher do the best.
There's Red Holtzman. And don't forget ex-Senator Bill Bradley and Willis Reed, along with Earl of Pearl Monroe. Great era for the New York Knicks. Kobe Bryant has 18 points, and he can't say this one. Bryant has 18. Abdur-Rahim 12 are the high scorers for the West. Way behind the East, Marcus Camby with 15 and Antoine Walker with 11 are the top scorers for the East. Ray Allen fires over Fisher for 3. Wallace keeps it alive, and Fisher just strips him of the ball, steps on the line. But credit Derek Fisher with pretty good hustle against the bigger guy.
Yeah, well, the Lakers really like his talent. He's a very savvy point guard. He's a true point guard, and he can finish. And that's very important. And when you play with the Lakers, the most important thing is you must be able to feed the post.
Speaking of the post, the tap and go of the Cavaliers with a fall away. Wallace, offensive rebound. And here comes Kobe Bryant. He's got Nash, Abdur-Rahim, Lorenzen Wright, and Derek Fisher. Nash misses a banker. And here comes Ray Allen. 65-54. The lead is 11. At one point, it was 20 for the East.
These games are played, peaks and valleys.
That's right. Teams have runs, don't they?
Now, there's a guy who put up some numbers there in his day. Rick Barry and his sons are playing in the league, and Rick was one of the all-time great small forwards ever to play this game. And when you talk about the best front court passers, you have to put them in the same sentence with Larry Bird and now Charles Barkley, taking double teams and playing in the field.
And the shortest of the, well, he was 6'7". Barkley's the shortest of the forwards that pass so well. Fisher winds up on the floor as he missed the layup. Kittles getting it back to Ray Allen. A couple of former Big East players, Kittles at Villanova and Allen at UConn. And Allen is fouled and will have a timeout called by Red Auerbach's East squad. Red Auerbach's East 65, Red Holtzman's West 54 with 7:50 remaining in the second half. Rookie game, the East lead cut to 11. It was 20. Want to remind you, still to come, the American Express $1 million shot, the AT&T shootout, and the Nestle Crunch slam dunk. But right now, Cheryl Miller is with Zeke, Isaiah Thomas.
Thanks a lot, Dick. First of all, let's talk a little bit about your player, Marcus Camby. Playing extremely well, 15 points.
Marcus is playing well. You know, I think what he's come here to do is kind of show everybody that he was the best rookie, and I think he's trying to establish himself. I think he's got like 15 points and like, 8 rebounds already. So let's just see how the rest of the game goes.
Isaiah, what is it like being here with the 50 greatest athletes in the NBA?
I think I'm the biggest fan of all of them. I have my book out, and I went around. I got everybody's autograph, and I had never met Wilt Chamberlain before, and I got a chance to meet him and sit and talk with him, and God, is he big. I didn't realize how big he was, but there's 7 foot, and then I think there's Wilt.
And he still looks like he can go, little bit.
He is big. I mean, he's a different kind of 7 feet. He's not the Akeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing type of 7 feet. He Will Chamberlain 7 feet.
All right, Isaiah, enjoy the game. Let's go back to you, Dick.
Can you believe that Isaiah Thomas never met Will Chamberlain?
That's a staggering thing. First of all, it was nice to hear the happiness and the enjoyment that Isaiah's here and how they are all universal in the fact that they're getting autographs.
Yeah,
Terrific.
every player, I mean, they were like kids getting autographs. I mean, there was Billy Cunningham, John Havlicek going over to Elgin Baylor. Amazing.
Let's go back to Will. When you think that Michael Jordan has scored over 50 points, 38 times, and then think of Will. He only did it 118 times.
Well, that's like the old triple-double.
Yeah,
but Oscar Robertson did it for a lifetime.
That's right.
Oscar tutoring Jim Valenti for his $1 million shot. That's going to be coming up soon. We have 7:15 remaining in the second half. The East leading the West 67-55. We've had 3 close games in the rookie contest, and this one right now is 12. It was 20. Here's Derek Fisher beating Maloney. Maloney off the rim throws actually an air ball, and unable to save it is Travis Knight. So it'll be the East ball. Leading scorers for the East, Marcus Camby with 15, Antoine Walker with 11. Every player has scored for the East, and Kobe Bryant with 18, Abdur Rahim has 12. Camby, by the way, also with 11 off the glass. Kittle's trying to beat Maloney. Dampier comes out of nowhere and slams it through. Eric Dampier.
Eric Dampier is a big five. Oh, boy. We almost had 3 media people on that one. That ball was a rope. Now just keep an eye to the right of your screen. You're going to see Dampier come in here and take that one and slam it down.
Indiana Pacers trying to get back into action in the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. They need a healthy Rick Smith. Here's Iverson working against Derek Fisher, stopping spins and hits. Allen Iverson now with 10 points, and he has a bundle of assists so far in this game. He's got 8 of them. Fisher goes low to right against Dampier, just beat him. What quickness did Lorenzen Wright show there?
Oh, that was beautiful. That was a great drop step. He just kept on going.
14-point lead now, 71-57 East. Camby for 3, hits it. Marcus Camby, who is 11% from downtown. Lenny Wilkins looking on. He's got a big one with the Chicago Bulls next Friday.
The Hawks are playing great. Whenever they get Allen Henderson back to help out that second unit, watch out.
That'll be on TNT in a big week of games on Turner Sports next week. Here is Iverson in a great pass that time. Iverson has 12, and the West wants a timeout. Maybe too much to overcome. Marcus Camby, tell you, he's looking good as a passer as well as a guy who can hit from the perimeter a little bit.
What I like about his game is he's just telling everyone, you know, that, hey, I'm not just an inside guy, a post up, a slasher. I run the lanes. I can do everything. And now I just showed you guys at the table that I can make a 3. He has 18 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists.
And he's healthy for the first time this year.
That's absolutely right. That's a major point with Camby.
Let's listen in now to Red Auerbach. I don't know what we're going to hear because I know he has a cold and doesn't have much of a voice. He says, I never get a cold, but I have one now.
Hey, look, we're not coming here and getting that shit, man. You know, that's hey, this is a hard-shot game. We ain't giving nobody.
Arnold Red Auerbach, who is still the president of the Boston Celtics. With his voice, as had our director Lonnie Dale, but Lonnie Dale with the miracle medical help sounds great to us anyway. And Red Holtzman on the other end. I wonder if Red will light up a victory cigar after this game. That's in the days when they allowed smoking in buildings. Want to remind you, next week, the Detroit Pistons and sensational Grant Hill appear twice. The Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic. Miami with Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway. Orlando with Penny Hardaway. That's the lineup next week on TNT and TBS. And the Bulls and Hawks next Friday. Doug Collins has got the Pistons with the third best record in the league right now.
He's done an outstanding job, and when you consider that they do not have what you would refer to as a big center, that they've been able to maneuver, you know, and play with 3 forwards and get the job done. Outstanding defensive job and great organization by the coaching staff.
Doug Collins talking to Grant Hill's mother and the wife of Calvin Hill, former NFL great. There's Grant. Fisher driving the hoop is fouled. Derek Fisher, who replaced Stephon Marbury of the Minnesota Timberwolves, will go to the line with 5:29 remaining in the second half. The East led by 15 after the first half, extended their lead to 20, and can establish, well, they have a 19-point lead now. Fisher misses the first free throw, and it went through, as we understand. We're getting this communique from Fisher makes both of them. First one didn't look like it went through, but Fisher's got them both, and it's 76-59. Here's Iverson.
Or Antoine Walker saying, come on, I got Kobe Bryant on me. This is the smallest guy who has played me defensively in 2 months.
Double team, and he throws it away. Maloney with a quick pass to Fisher. Iverson trying for the block, and the basket counts. And Iverson will help up Derek Fisher because he's got to like the move that Fisher showed there.
Anytime that you're going to have someone run you down or come for the shot block, always come up on the other side of the rim. See, that was beautiful. Not only does he get a good chance to give a little reverse spin on that baby hook shot, but then the defender is going to come over your back. You got a chance for 3 points.
8 points and 4 assists for Derek Fisher, who got another pat on the back from Allen Iverson, who was really impressed by the move. So a 3-point play by Fisher. And the lead is 14 for the East as we get down to the 5-minute mark. Iverson into Camby. Knight doing a good job against him. Camby, not to be denied, misses it, and Iverson follows. Allen Iverson now with 14 points. And it's a 78-62 game. Iverson from Georgetown and the Philadelphia 76ers now. Fisher open for 3. Good pass from Travis Knight.
Excellent ball movement. As soon as Knight had the double team, he found Fisher on a diagonal pass.
Lead is 13 with under 4.5 minutes to go. Terry Kittle's trying to post up against Matt Maloney. Camby, long rebound, and here comes the West. They're trailing, and a 4-on-1 break. Fisher lays it in. So Derek Fisher doing a lot of the damage lately, has scored the last 8 points for the West, and they've cut the lead again to 11. 4:02 to go, and a foul. And now they say a double dribble is a violation. Ray Allen will come into the game for the East, and the West making a run here. And a timeout called by Red Auerbach's East team with 4:01 remaining in the second half. 78-67, the East leading. Who's out of Anna Maria Island, Florida, has been tutored by one of the greatest, Oscar Robertson, has made a lot of attempts.
How many shots do I get at this? Yeah.
Only one, Jim, when it really counts. Only one. You know, it's interesting to talk about the respect that these young players may have or not have for the veterans, but you can't compare eras as far as athletic ability, and you really can't compare them as far as celebrity, because NBA players, now worldwide celebrities, is Ice Gervin, who's one of the great shooters. So now we have a different kind of characteristic of players coming out and playing ball than we used to.
Yeah, for all of the people who are saying that they are immature and they have no respect, well, what will happen is if you don't play to your potential and you do not make the all-star teams and you constantly play on losing teams, it fades quickly. And what will happen is you will be lost in the shuffle as your 3-year contract wears off, the shoe contracts go, the commercials go, and all of a sudden now you just become another player in this league. And it happens quickly, Dick.
Yeah, and you got to produce, and they know that. Roy Rogers with the lay-in, and it's 78-69, a 9-point lead. So the West with a big challenge here against the East with 3:35 to go. Iverson with a scoop shot. Allen Iverson is always there to make the big pass, the big block, or the big basket whenever the East needs it. And another former 76er, the doctor, watching. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Dick, everybody's getting autographs this weekend, but the best collection belongs to one of the top 50 players of all time, Clyde Drexler. You're having a lot of fun.
Hey, this is like being a kid in a candy store. I've been an avid NBA fan for many, many years. And this occasion is one of the most historic occasions in the history of the NBA. And so I'm having a great time.
What's your most prized autograph?
Oh, well, the greatest of all times. He's right here in front of me. Signed a couple of my books for my young children, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, is it true? Would you like to tell Clyde how many points you would score if you played in the game today? How many points did you average?
Well, you got to understand with the rules of the day, with the offense not allowed to touch you, can't come in and put 3 or 4 guys around you when you don't have the ball. Probably about 65 or 70 might be a good thing, you know.
All right, thanks, guys. Back to Dick and Hubie.
And that's conservative, I bet. Right?
Well, you know what's interesting, Dick? Every time they say the strongest man ever to play the game is Will Chamberlain, probably Artis Gilmer's second, and everyone is unanimous about that. When you look back over a period of time, at one time, Wilt had over 50 offensive records in this league, and there's the guy who didn't do a bad job either. He doesn't have enough fingers to carry all the rings.
You know, in the days before Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, the Bill Russell-Wilt Chamberlain battle was the one everyone came to see in the 50s and 60s. Kobe Bryant on the free throw line. He'll be shooting the 3. He was fouled beyond the arc. Bryant with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 of 10 from the line. 82-72, the East in front with 3:05 remaining. East had a 20-point lead at one point here in the second half, and the West trying to make a late run at things.
Remember that famous racehorse, Silky Sullivan, right? He used to give everyone, spot him about half the track and then come on from like 40 lengths back. That's what the West is trying to do here in the next 3 minutes of this game.
And it'll be interesting to see how far they come as Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, hits both free throws. He now has 23 points. Red Holtzman urging on the West to make that run with 3 minutes to go. The lead is now down to 8 for the East. Allen Iverson spinning his way, going over Maloney. And Matt Maloney the rebound. Fisher is down court. And Derek Fisher with a great move lays it in, and it's a 6-point game. 82-76 with still enough time remaining.
That was a pretty catch and a beautiful move.
How about Fisher with 16 points, 12 here in the second half.
Done a great job.
Allen off the glass, and Roy Rogers fouls Antoine Walker from behind.
Now, when you realize that Derek Fisher would not have been in the game, but Stephon Marbury came up with the injury. Now, this is just about. Now, just watch this move while he's in the air. Nice. Let that defender go right on by.
Go up, change hands, and now Antoine Walker makes the free throw. Walker, 57% free throw shooter, so that was a big one for the East as John Wallace will come into the game, placing Vitaly Potapenko of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Those are Walker's numbers. He's had a good game tonight. Great balance by the East. Everyone scored. And there was more of the 57% shooting variety. Larry Bird winces at that attempt.
We had that the door open and that wind just blew through there.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
So everyone has scored for the West as well. 83-76, 7-point lead, 2:20 to go. Abdur Rahim blocked to the baseline now by Antoine Walker. Plenty of time on the shot clock. That hasn't bothered anyone today. And Derek Fisher deflected. Kobe Bryant works his way in and scores. Kobe Bryant didn't even have control of it at first, has 25 points. Here's a Philadelphian in his pro career. Billy Cunningham, 83-78. Wallace misses a three. Walker with a big offensive rebound and lays it in. That stops the surge a little bit with 1:50 to go in the second half. Two halves today. 85-78. Bryant throws it away into the hands of Ray Allen. Bad time for a turnover if the Westerns to make a run. Wallace from Antoine Walker. Look out. Here is Kobe Bryant, and they're going to call a two-shot foul as Iverson fouls Bryant.
The foul is on Allen Iverson, his second.
We'll give you Bryant's last bucket here. This is just a nice move going down the middle, gets hit.
So Kobe Bryant, at this point with the Lakers, is the backup point guard. Lakers coming off maybe their biggest win of the year last Wednesday night without Shaquille O'Neal defeating the Chicago Bulls by 16 at the Forum.
Eldon Campbell was magnificent, getting 34 points in the pivot, established the inside game, and then the perimeter people, Van Exel, Eddie Jones, and Horry played sensation. Put up big numbers.
87-80, the lead is 7. Under a minute and a half remaining. 1:26, 17 on the shot clock for the East. Allen guarded by Matt Maloney. And Allen will shoot over Maloney. And into the hands of Abdur-Rahim. Pushing the ball up court. Abdur-Rahim does it all the way on a solo shot. And the lead is down to 5. It was at 20 early here in the second half.
First time I saw Abdur-Rahim was in the semifinals of the state tournament at Georgia Tech in Atlanta, Georgia.
He convinced you.
Oh, he was spectacular, Dick. Spectacular. And you just knew he was going to be a star. What talent that young man.
Number 8, Kobe Bryant.
And here he comes right now. He's just going to step it out. He could handle back then, and you just think about it now. This would only be his second year out of high school. First time that a freshman ever was Player of the Year in the Pac-10 last year at the University of California.
You're looking at a lot of UCLA years, even after freshmen were allowed to play. Iverson makes 1 out of 2. It was a penalty situation. Iverson now with 17 points. The lead is 6, 88-82, under a minute, 51 plus. And running, 16 on the shot clock. Here is Fisher going for 3. Lorenzen Wright stepped on the line and turns it over. So the East has it.
They needed that one. Matt Maloney put that one down, would have made it a 3-point game.
You see, you're used to these close games. You want a 1-point or 2-point game every time. Now, you know, some years we're not going to have that. Derek Fisher trips Allen Iverson, who goes sprawling. And he'll shoot 2 with 36.4 seconds remaining. Allen Iverson playing an outstanding game, and Arnold Red Auerbach nursing a cold. Still works out. Lives in Washington, D.C. And the greatest of the greats.
Not only a great coach with the 9 rings, but one of the greatest general managers in the history of this league. Knew how to keep the cupboard with talent. Knew when to get rid of players a year before they went down and their talent diminished. He had a knack.
Antoine Walker of the Celtics with a steal in the basket will ice this one. 10-point lead with 31.4 seconds, and Kobe Bryant is fouled by Antoine Walker. And the ability to pick up players from the scrap heaps, so to speak. Don Nelson being one of them, and there were many others. Emmett Bryant helped them win a championship. You can go down the line. There's Don Nelson, who's the new general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. Returning to the NBA war.
How about taking a chance on the big redhead, Bill Walton, after all of his operations to this beat? And then that great team, the Boston Celtics, one of the 10 best teams, 1986.
Here is Bill Walton.
That wasn't a bad team. They were 40-1 at home.
Not bad. And if you play 500 ball on the road, you'll have the best record in the league easily.
Not a bad club.
Kobe Bryant, with the free throws, now has 29 points, and that is the most ever in a rookie game. So the 18-year-old from Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia establishes a rookie scoring record with 29, and a foul is committed by Fisher.
2 years ago, Eddie Jones, currently a player with the Los Angeles Lakers out of Temple University, won the MVP in this game with 25 points.
The first MVP was Penny Hardaway, who talked with Cheryl Miller earlier. And last year, Damon Stoudemire was the MVP of this game and then went on to win Rookie of the Year honors in the league. Iverson misses both free throws. Abdur-Rahim, and before he can get it up court, a timeout called by Red Holtzman in the West squad. You're allowed 2 timeouts in the second half for each team, 1 in the first.
Now, I'm going to tell you, Red is coaching over here.
Yes.
Not only called it short to give us a timeout, moved the ball to half court, then he went over, did a little bickering with the referee. Now, who said
Those 2 titles were not enough for Red Holtzman.
There you go. That's right.
He wants to come out on top in the rookie game as well. It'll be an uphill climb, however, 92-84 with 21.7 seconds remaining. Well, still to come on All-Star Saturday night here on TNT, the American Express $1 Million Shot. 49-year-old Jim Valenti of Bradenton Beach, Florida, has been tutored by Oscar Robertson. Will try to make a 3-point shot for $1 million. He gets $10,000 if he misses. And then the AT&T shootout and the Nestle Crunch slam dunk. So we have a great deal still to come here in this All-Star weekend in Cleveland. Let's take a look again at the competitors in the shootout. There's Tim Legler, who is the defending champion.
Just recently off the injured list, playing with the Washington Bullets. It's nice to see him back.
He hasn't played a game this season, but he can go out there and fire away and defend his title, and that's what he'll be trying to do against some pretty impressive company. Well, the West has used their timeouts. Obviously, the 3-point shot. Oh, they're looking for an easy 2, and Nash gets it. They caught the East sleeping and got a 2 in a hurry. It's 20.1. It's 92-86. And there is Antoine Walker, who is underneath. A little late to trade hoops. Nash beating Kobe Bryant, and 31 points for Kobe Bryant. He has long since established a rookie scoring record for this game. And out of bounds with 9.7 seconds remaining, it'll be East ball. John Wallace will inbound. The East is going to come out on top. Last year they won 94-92. Ray Allen is fouled by Bryant with 5.3 seconds to go. But Kobe Bryant, 31 points and 8 rebounds, and he came out firing tonight.
What he showed us here this evening, great athletic talent. He has all the dimensions of being a star. They are now using him, giving him more minutes, meaningful minutes, with the Los Angeles Lakers. And when you realize that the Lakers are trying to lead their division, it's a great tribute to his talent to be his age and making this contribution where every game is a big game.
Playing in the rookie game, and then, of course, someday hopes to be in the All-Star game itself. And that's going to come your way tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern on NBC. The NBA All-Star game. Michael Jordan, of course, leading the way. Here is Travis Knight feeding into Abdur-Rahim. Final seconds. And Abdur-Rahim hits the 3 at the buzzer. And the East prevails nonetheless. And Allen Iverson with an outstanding game. Even Rick Barry's young son applauds these rookies. The final score, the East 96, the West 91. In a high-scoring affair. Allen Iverson, big star tonight as a scorer, shot blocker, and passer. Had 19 points and 9 assists. We'll be right back.
Usually the more...
And the final score in the Schick rookie game here at Gund Arena in Cleveland, the West losing to the East 96-91, putting on a late spurt but falling short and losing by 5 points. And the MVP of the Schick rookie game is Allen Iverson of the Philadelphia 76ers, who had 19 points, 9 assists, and 3 block shots. Presented with the trophy, Steve Lutz of Schick. So Allen Iverson, who came out passing, very aggressive play tonight.
Well, he definitely made a lot of things happen in that first half, Dick.
Not to be denied, but look at that.
And I think that what the voters voted for was the penetration, passing off for the 8 assists at halftime, making things happen, and then just creating for everybody. And then he said, you know what, it's my time to score. And he did score.
So despite the 31 by Kobe Bryant, an all-time rookie high, it was Allen Iverson with the all-round play, and right now he's with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, congratulations, Alan. Dick and Hubie were talking about how this rookie game is a proving ground, a chance to seize the opportunity. What were your thoughts going in? What did you want to accomplish?
I just figured everybody, you know, felt that I was going to come in and try to shoot up all the balls. But I wanted to just come in and get my teammates involved so they can get a good feel for the game. You know, it was a large crowd out here, and it's an all-star game. And I just wanted them to feel comfortable and just get them a couple easy layups. And they was catching my passes, and they played great. Without them, I wouldn't be holding this trophy right now.
Kobe Bryant had 31 points, but as you know, winning is the important thing. With only 12 wins so far for the Sixers at the break, what do you hope to accomplish in the second half?
We just want to just play harder than we played the first half. You know, hopefully get our guys back from injuries, get those guys on the floor and start playing. I feel good about the way our team is competing, you know, night after night. You know, we're not getting blown out of games, but we just got to learn how to win at the end of the game. You know, part of that comes from me, you know, being young, coming in this league and stepping in and playing a point guard position. I have a lot of learning to do, and I have Mo Cheeks right on the left of me every game, and he's helped me out a lot.
Great memories for you this weekend, but this morning, headlines in the paper, legends take Iverson, young players to task. Would you please clarify your position and how you feel about the 50 greatest players in the stands today?
Without those players, it wouldn't be no Allen Iverson. You know, those guys paved the way for me. They made me want to play. When I saw Michael Jordan growing up, I always wanted to, you know, be in the situations that he used to be in when he first came to Chicago. And I watched Barkley play and those guys, and they made me want to be a basketball player. I have a lot of respect for those guys. I have a lot of respect for the NBA, period. And I'm just glad to be here. It's a dream come true.
Congratulations. Enjoy the weekend. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, Craig, thanks for asking that, and a great response for Allen Iverson, who told the country and the world how he feels about those veterans, right from Allen Iverson himself. Meanwhile, what about Jim Valenti, who's getting ready for his big moment, Hubie?
Well, $1 million, pressure shot. If he misses, he gets $10,000. There are only 180 countries watching this game, never mind 15 million people here in the United States. So I would say there's a little bit of pressure on him.
And his wife, Kathy, celebrating her 47th birthday the night of this shot. She's admitting how old she is, and maybe that'll be good luck. And you know what? This has been a big week for people attempting million-dollar shots. Let's go to the Pro Bowl, where Lance Alstott kicking a 35-yard field goal attempt for $1 million. Made it through. So Lance Alstott won $1 million, kicking a 35-yard field goal at the Pro Bowl in Honolulu, and now it'll be Jim Valenti who's going to try to hit a three-point basket for $1 million. It could be $1 million week, Hubie.
Yeah, it's great. And Oscar Robertson keeps telling him, flex your legs, flex your legs.
I would listen to Oscar Robertson.
I would hope so.
All right. So Jim Valenti will try the American Express $1 million shot when we come back to Cleveland in just a moment. We know you're not going to go away for this.
NBA All-Star Saturday night.
Right about now, the pulse is beginning to quicken, the palms beginning to sweat, the butterflies beginning to feel more like condors, because soon the spotlight will be shining, the PA announcer will do the introductions, and a sellout crowd will watch one shooter take one shot for $1 million. It's the American Express $1 million shot. And I know what you're saying at home. Oh, come on, that thing's a piece of cake. I make it in my backyard all the time. It's just your basic NBA three-pointer, 22 feet away. But I'm telling you, when you're in front of that sellout crowd, it's a different story. A few tips to remember. Got to use your legs. Got to have that good rotation. Got to have that sweet release. Kind of like this. Yeah, they're loving it. And it was even more than 22 feet. I'll tell you something. It's easy money when you're in the virtual arena. Could be a different story in the real thing. Let's go back to guns.
All right, Ernie, if you were attempting it, they'd be backing up the Brinks truck the way your style is all set. Now we're set for the American Express $1 million shot, and right now let's send it over to the public address announcer, Jeff Shreve.
Here's our contestant. Jim Valente, accompanied by his coach, Oscar Robertson, his wife, and their son and daughter. Jim has an added incentive tonight. It's his wife, Catherine's birthday. Jim will now take one shot from the three-point line. If he makes the shot, he will win $1 million, courtesy of American Express. Okay, Jim, take your best shot.
Here is Jim Valente. How many times has he practiced this? Off to the left. Well, he'll have to settle for $10,000. No big birthday present for Kathy.
Since January 23rd, an hour and a half a day. Practice.
Craig Sager is over there with Jim Valente right now.
Well, Jim, I know you practiced this shot. Physically, you were ready. What was it like? How did you feel at the time? What went wrong?
I think I just pushed it a little to the right. Just didn't get those legs in it, like Oscar told me 300 times. But, hey, listen, I put it up there. I thought I could get it in.
You pushed it to the right. Do you think that was from tired, practicing too much? Push it to the side, do you think possibly just sweaty palms? And
Well, I don't know. You know, I think the 15, 20-minute break kind of slowed me down a little bit. But, you know, got a little tight.
What were your thoughts last night preparing for the shot? I know you told me you thought you were going to make it. Did you sleep well? What was this morning and today like?
I dreamt I made this shot all night long. So, you know, it's just, hey, you get out here, it's a little bit different than playing in the high school gym, you know?
How was the experience, though, getting $10,000, getting tips from Oscar Robertson, enjoying the weekend?
I'll tell you, the coaching has been terrific. This guy is superb. The American Express people have treated us like a $1 million winner all along.
You didn't spend $1 million already, did you?
No, but I'm happy with the $10,000 birthday present.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Thanks for your cooperation all week. Now let's go back to the set.
You know what's interesting, Hubie, is that he said he pushed it to the right, and we saw the replay 3 times, and it looked like he went to the left.
American Express
Yeah,
and the National
he just
Basket.
didn't get enough backspin on it. But let's face it, we're talking about a tremendous amount of pressure.
Right.
I mean, it looks easy. I know on television a few weeks ago, I saw a guy make 3 shots in a major competition from half court, 3 in a row. I mean, I almost fell off my couch. But you know, no one in attendance. Here we only had, like we said, 180 countries, 20,000 in here, and then maybe another 15 to 20 million watching across the country.
And it's $10,000, and if you're a fan, you get to work with Oscar Robertson, and that's pretty good. And presenting the check to Jim Valente for $10,000, Andy Wing, the Vice President and General Manager of Promotions and Events for American Express. Well, he missed the 3-point shot, gave it his all, and he's still smiling. Right now, let's go upstairs to Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you, Dick. Probably got people in 180 countries saying, man, I could have made that. We're at the halfway point now of All-Star Saturday. So far, we've seen the Schick rookie game. You saw the East beat the West 96-91. Allen Iverson was the MVP, 19 points and 9 assists. He hit 7 out of 11 from the field. Of course, the American Express $1 million shot. Jim Valenti joins the ranks of Mike Hoban and Demetrius Houston before him. Don't get the million, but they do get $10,000. Coming up next, it's the AT&T Shootout, and still to come, the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk here at Gund Arena. Covering tonight's festivities, the Goodyear Blimp Spirit, housed 30 miles from here in Akron. We've got a lot more to go, folks. Keep it right here. Takes center stage at the AT&T Shootout. It's become an all-star weekend classic. Now, in the annals of rock and roll, this was a classic weekend. Woodstock. And maybe a little overdressed. Sure, there have been imitators, but Woodstock set the standard. Just like these classic performers have. From Satchmo to Zeke to the Supremes. And there's the Hall of Fame royalty. The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. And the king of rock and roll. Hey, Elvis has entered the virtual building. Now, when you're talking classics in an NBA sense, you may want to start with Larry Bird, owner of that uncanny shooting touch from the outside, that unshakable confidence. It brought him 3 shootout titles, setting a lofty goal for all those who would follow. Guys like last year's winner, Tim Legler of the Washington Bullets, who beat Dennis Scott in the finals. Now it's time to roll out the ball racks, step back behind the arc, and let it fly just like Larry Legend. It's the AT&T Shootout. Oh, Leonard Skinner, turn it up. It is time for the AT&T Shootout from Gund Arena. We've had shift change down there courtside. Dick and Hubie can now just sit and watch. Bob Neal, Doc Rivers, Reggie Theus at your service. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Ernie. And, yeah, if this plane's been flying smooth with Dick and Hubie, we're going to do some rolls, some reverse loops.
That's right.
Yeah, because we're about time for the three-point shootout and the slam dunk competition. Of course, on my far right, Reggie Theus, Doc Rivers here in the middle. These two fellas have had a lot of experience with shooting the long-range bomb and with slam dunking themselves. Let's start off, first of all, though, with the three-point shootout. And yesterday, even though neither one of these players ever competed in the three-point shootout themselves, you got a chance, both of you, to have a run at it under a clock to get a real feel for it, Reggie.
Well, Bob, I felt good yesterday because now I'm 2-0 against my counterpart. Killed Doc yesterday in the three-point contest. But what I found out is that it takes a lot of strength and stamina to do the three-point contest. You have to take each rack about 9 seconds. If you go more than that, you will never finish. And you have to be extremely focused, guys, because they have to hit that back of the rim and get it all net. And a lot of guys shoot a lot of different ways on the three-point balls.
Doc, you must have a reply to
Not much of a reply.
No comment.
Actually, I tell you what, not only concentration, but I think composure is the key. You can't panic if you start missing shots early. You have to keep going with it. And like Steve Kerr said to me, he said, rhythm is the important factor. If I have my rhythm, you have a chance of winning.
All right, let's go to the slam dunk competition. We'll follow the shootout. And what you notice there is a difference from the focus to an event of creativity and a different mindset, would you say?
Oh, yeah, this is not a concentration event. It's an event of power, of charisma, and of style. You know, anybody can dunk.
Yeah.
It's not that you can dunk, it's what you bring with your dunk.
Well, maybe not anybody. Like, for instance, guess which one of the
maybe
three
with
of us
maybe with a step ladder over there.
that's true.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's all about style. It's all about getting the fans involved in it. You got to come out. It's a show. You got to come out and show your stuff. Rhythm, getting up, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then what you do after the dunk is what's important because the crowd has a big influence on the judges.
And it's really interesting. It may be a statement about the game today. First and second year players exclusively in the slam dunk. The older players like Dale Ellis, for example, who's 36 years old and twice as old as Kobe Bryant, who's in the slam dunk, is in the three-point shootout. As they go along, the veterans shoot the ball from the range a little bit better. The youngsters wanting to slam dunk. And now, last year's defending champion, who will be in it this year, is Tim Legler. Legler last year, he's coming now off of a knee injury, but last year set a record in the third round competition with a 65 points, and he's back in it this year.
Only by...
When this competition began in 1986, the man who set the standard, look at the hairdo, Larry Bird. He entered it the first 3 years, won it the first 3 years. Particularly in 1986, Bird hits for 22 to defeat Craig Hodges, who goes on later in his career to also win it 3 times. Reggie, your thoughts on Larry Bird's shooting ability in this?
The thing you have to look at Larry Bird is you watch his eyes. You see how concentrated, how focused he was, and he looks back at the rack just as he let go of the ball. He doesn't wait to see if it goes through the hoop or not.
And the big one, Doc, was in 1988, trailing Dale Ellis. He needed to have the 2-point ball, the blue, black, and at the time, red, white, and blue ball. Everybody knew it was going to go.
Well, it was no doubt. When he put it up, you knew it was in. Everyone in the arena knew it was in. If I had to say one thing about Larry Bird,
I don't mind.
Oh, okay. It would be competitor. He was the most competitive player to play the game.
Yeah, I remember he walked into the locker room and told these other fellas, you're all playing for second place. There he is watching the rookie game here earlier today. Had a little setup with a mini basket to shoot at a nearby event here. He was beating people left and right in that, too. Still has the competitive juices flowing. And now let's meet the competitors for the 1997 AT&T Shootout. Here's public address announcer Jeff Shreve.
And now here are the competitors in tonight's AT&T Shootout. He was the first player to hit 1,000 three-point shots, and he's still the all-time leader in three-pointers made and attempted. The 1989 AT&T Shootout champion from the Denver Nuggets, Dale Ellis. This powerful forward leads the league in three-point shooting and is enjoying an excellent season, participating in his first AT&T Shootout from the Detroit Pistons, Terry Mills. A versatile forward having a career year from three-point land. He's on pace to shatter his single-season high for three-pointers. From the Toronto Raptors, Walt Williams. This 6'9" forward has moved his game out further and further, and now he's one of the premier three-point shooters in the league. Making his shootout debut from the Seattle Supersonics, Sam Perkins. He's the league's all-time and single-season three-point percentage leader, making his 4th straight AT&T Shootout appearance from the Chicago Bulls, Steve Kerr. The 1995 AT&T Shootout champion, this forward is averaging more than 20 points for the 4th straight year and is closing in on 1,000 career three-pointers. From the Charlotte Hornets, Glenn Rice. One of the best point guards in the history of the NBA. He's having a career season from behind the arc. In his second AT&T Shootout from the Utah Jazz, John Stockton. Defending champion set an AT&T Shootout record last year with a 3-round score of 65 and route to his first three-point crown. From the Washington Bullets, Tim Legler. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1997 AT&T Shootout contestants.
All right, there are 8 of them. 3 of them have won before. 3 of them are entering for the first time. 3 rounds, and remember that each round is scored separately. The score does not carry into the next, so it goes from 8 to 4 to 2, and the key, of course, on the 5 racks is the multicolored ball counts for 2 points. It is very important, of course, and often the focus of attention of the players. 60 seconds to shoot, and as Reggie Theus told you earlier, it's about 9 seconds a rack or you're going to get behind. The prize money, a lot of people say, for these millionaires, pocket change, 20,000, 10, 5, 55, 25, and 1,000 for everybody who participates. It's pocket change unless you're getting the check.
That's right.
Doesn't sound
I
like
could use
pocket
that
change.
kind of pocket change.
You got that right. So we're ready to get underway here now. In the first round, remember, they will shoot each at end of the floor, each at one end of the floor. The competitors this year are
Walt Williams, you see Steve Kerr is the all-time leader, as they told you just a moment ago, in field goal percentage. Sam Perkins, big man who shoots from the outside. Dale Ellis, former winner. Terry Mills burning it up at Detroit, hit 8 for 8 in one game. John Stockton, who's in his second competition here. Glenn Rice, who won it in '95, and last year's defending champion, coming off a right knee injury, Tim Legler. However, he's off the injured list, and while he was not playing in games, no doubt was probably practicing. And here is Walt Williams. Our first two will be Walt Williams as we face them on the left end of the court. Walt Williams, who, as you see there, 107 three-point field goals this season for Walt. And on the right will be Terry Mills from Detroit. So I'm going to have my cohorts here, Reggie and Doc, take each one of these. One will have one and one will have the other to follow them through this 60 seconds. And on the left and right side of your screen, the score will be kept progressively as they shoot. Remember, 2 points for the multicolored ball. The clock set at 1.0. That's just 60 seconds from start to finish. And here we go.
Well, guys, you know, we're talking about Walt Williams. Interesting thing about him, he said working on this three-point shooting in Sacramento, they only had 2 racks. They didn't have 5 racks, so his teammates had to help him shag balls. And he wants to start off from the right side and then catch the ball pulling from the left. He's got a nice little rhythm going. Yeah, and one thing you have to remember, both of these guys, Terry Mills and Walt Williams, this is their first time in this event, so they don't know what to expect. One thing they said, they don't want to look at the clock. Start to look at that clock, you start to rush and you miss shots. Terry Mills is having a career year from the three, leading the NBA in field goal percentage. Now, Walt Williams is in his favorite spot. He loves the wing. Let's see how many he can make in a row from there. He's got 3, 4 in a row. There we go. Here comes the money ball. It's a big one for him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Terry Mills is rushing right now. He just looked up at the clock, exactly what he said he didn't want to do. So he's struggling a little bit. Walt Williams has got a nice rhythm. Look at the arch. He's got nice roll, and the money ball at the buzzer. No!
18 points for Walt Williams unofficially. They'll double-check this, and 11 for Terry Mills. 11 probably won't be enough to advance, but 18's a pretty good number in the first round. Remember, of the 8, these two are not shooting against each other. The top 4 scorers will advance. So Terry Mills struggled, and it often happens with a player in this competition for the first time. First, let's look at Walt Williams again.
But look at the rhythm. He's got nice arch. The one thing he's doing that a lot of guys do is as they let it go, they see what's going on, and then they look to get the next ball. And look at that. He has really shot the ball well.
Here's a mini run for Terry Mills.
Yeah, this is the one time where he was just shooting the ball. He was not worrying about the clock or looking at the clock. He just let it flow. Terry Mills is a streaky shooter. When he's on a hot streak, he's dangerous. When he's not, he's not. And tonight, he was not. Like you said, he's his first time around. Look at those guys. Yeah, I love the way the NBA guys come and support their teammates. That's tremendous.
Got a kick out Alonzo Mourning and Dikembe Mutombo as though they know about it.
You know, I was thinking the same thing. Let them tell it. Let them tell it. They do.
Here's a man who knows about it. Our next competitors will be Steve Kerr and John Stockton. Steve Kerr came into this season at 48% career in three-point shooting. Of course, he's the three-point specialist with the Chicago Bulls, and here's all-star starter tomorrow, sure to be Hall of Famer John Stockton of the Utah Jazz, right now 7th in the league in three-point shooting at .438. Neither one of these competitors has won before.
And John Stockton is one of the great clutch shooters in the game. So, Reggie, if it comes down to one shot, my money's on John Stockton. I tell you what, Steve Kerr, the Susan Lucci of the three-point contest, he's about due, guys. I think he knows what he has to do. He said, last time I worked 5 or 6 days in a row, working every day. This time I did nothing. I just want to come out and be loose. Well, one of the things I asked Kerr is why is his percentage so high? He said, because everybody's guarding Michael Jordan. I'm wide open. Well, the one thing, you know, I talked to him, and he's talking constantly about having fun. He wants to have fun. He says last 2 or 3 times he didn't have a good time, but look at what he's doing. Kerr is shooting the ball nicely. Both guys are really shooting well right now. It's going to come down to the end, but they're not shooting against each other. They're shooting against the score, and John Stockton is struggling right now. This is big for Steve in the corner. He's got 14. He can really get a nice score. These last 2 balls are big for him. Money ball, he's got it up.
It doesn't count. It missed it anyway. So 15 for Kerr and 13 for Stockton. And so as of right now, Mills and with 11 points and 13 for Stockton will be at the bottom two, and 18 and 15 are the two highest scores. And remember, 4 advance. Here's a look at Kerr again.
And you know what was interesting about these two guys? Steve Kerr took his time. Yeah. He barely, I don't know if he got that last shot off. And John Stockton was finished with about 5 seconds left.
Well, Doc,
the difference is Stockton was rushing.
But, Doc, last year, Steve Kerr told me that sometimes he didn't even finish his rack because he's more concerned with the amount of balls that he makes, and he really took his time this time. Everybody always talks about it's really important to get out of the first round with a bang. Walt Williams and Steve Kerr both are doing a great job.
18 for Williams and 15 for Kerr, and our next competitors now are going to be Sam Perkins and Glenn Rice. Sam Perkins from Seattle now, formerly, of course, with Dallas and then the Lakers. They call him the Big Smooth. He's shooting a sweet .416 this year. And Glenn Rice making his 4th appearance. Glenn Rice won this competition in 1995, and in the 10 days or so prior to this All-Star Weekend break, Glenn Rice has been on fire for the Charlotte Hornets. So we'll have Sam Perkins and Glenn Rice. Remember, they're not competing against each other, but against the score. The top 4 will advance. The best 2 scores so far, Walt Williams with 18, Steve Kerr with 15.
Bob and Doc, the Big Smooth, Big Easy, they all weren't worried about what he can do. He said, I was working out with the little guys, seeing if I could finish my rack. I got long arms, and it takes me a little bit longer to get my shot off, and that's going to be the biggest problem. He doesn't look down at the rack when he shoots, but he's got a nice stroke. Check him out. And he doesn't use his legs. That could be big for him down the stretch.
Well, he's big, and that's why he doesn't use his legs. All he has to do is use those long arms. Both of these guys are big, and it's an easy shot for both of them. They won't get tired. Glenn Rice told me his problem sometimes is he gets too relaxed for this, and he starts off slow, and that's what he's doing right now.
Well, right now, they're both shooting like power forwards from that line. Not doing great, but I love the way that they both got nice rhythm, got nice touch, and I expect Glenn Rice to really do well in this, but, you know, hey, 12 is not going to make it.
Yeah, but he likes that last rack. He told me he loves shooting the last rack because he knows that's when the pressure is on.
Well, see, I'm proud because Sam Perkins finished.
that was the bet going into this, because, you know, the Big Smooth is a nice nickname except for in this competition.
Yeah, he moves slowly in slow motion, and Glenn Rice looks like he's going to possibly get into the Final 4 here, as Glenn Rice hit 3 big money balls in his round here, and that's what really kept him in it. And they're going to say Glenn Rice has 16 points officially now, not 17, but 16. They waved off one of those points. So it's Walt Williams, Glenn Rice, and Steve Kerr, the top 3 now, and we're ready to go to our final 2 competitors of the first round. Dale Ellis, also a former winner here. He was the first player in NBA history to make 1,000 3-pointers. He's the all-time leader in attempts and makes, one here in 1989, and he'll be shooting against the defending champion Tim Legler. Tim Legler, who just came off the injured list with a sore right knee, set an NBA record for the 3-point shootout with a 3-round total of 65 and an opening round 23. Now, the all-time record is 25, and you see that right knee just off the injured list, but he's been practicing, and I don't think it's going to bother him. I think he's somebody we ought to look for.
Well, the one thing about Legler, you have to worry about his conditioning. You always get tired in this event. You know, not only did he break the record last year, he's the only guy in the history of this event to make at least 20 in each round.
That's tremendous. Dale Ellis talking like the vet before the game. You know, he said that just don't get caught up into it, Reggie. Just take it easy, and it's important to get off to a good start. Like Larry Bird did, he likes to set it with the seam. So when he grabs the ball, he's right on top of it.
Well, you know, Legler told me, he said, I am getting caught up in this event. He said, this is a big event for me, and I want to win it. I want to defend my championship.
Off to a good start is Legler. Until then, when he takes the ball. Missed the money ball.
Well, you know, the money ball is the most important situation. Yeah. Everybody, when they get to that money ball, just the fact that it's a different color and it's the last ball, it really does play on your mind a little bit.
And one thing Glenn Rice did, and it's what Steve Kerr talked about, he didn't panic. Glenn Rice struggled early and made it late. And you can see both of these guys who have both been in the event struggled early, and now they're starting to catch fire a little bit.
Oh, but look at the strokes of these two guys. So nice, so smooth. Two of the purest shooters in the NBA right now.
And Legler is on fire.
Legler 17 means that Stockton is eliminated. So what we're going to have after Legler hit his last 5, it'll be Walt Williams, Legler, Glenn Rice, and Steve Kerr advancing as we look at the last year's defending champion.
And I would say the surprise of that would be Walt Williams. I think most people thought it would be those three and Dale Ellis. I think Walt Williams right now is the wild card in this event.
Well, there you go. Walt Williams with 18 points. Legler 17, Rice 16, and Steve Kerr 15, and they will advance to the semifinals. Welcome back to Gund Arena in Cleveland. There are semifinalists: Steve Kerr, Glenn Rice, Tim Legler, and Walt Williams. And from left to right, that's the order that they will compete here in descending order. Remember, throw out their first scores. They just got them advanced into the semifinals. Now, the top 2 from here will advance, as you see how many points came from each rack. So Steve Kerr will go first. He is the all-time field goal percentage leader in three-point shooting in the history of the NBA. 31 years old, 9th year from Chicago.
Well, the one thing you know about Kerr, he's been here before. This is his fourth time to the three-point contest, and he knows what this second round is all about.
Another thing he said earlier today, you don't want to get too close to the rack. You want to always stay a little distance away, be comfortable, and let it flow.
Look how much time he takes on his shot. Look at he squares up, he gets his feet together, looks at the rack, everything is real concentrated, and that's his favorite spot right there, the top of the key.
I think he's proven that.
Yes. He needs it.
You know what? He's 4th appearance here, all-time leader in percentage, and he's never won this event.
I called him Susan Lucci. And he's a jump shot shooter. Sometimes that plays against you. You got to get some lift.
He's also small, and I think the later rounds hurt him also.
He's got some big points.
Yeah, it takes 4.
Look at this, Doc. This is big, Doc. This is big, Doc.
Yeah. Anything better than 20 is very big. You saw the runner-up last year, Dennis Scott. There's Scottie Pippen, who knocks down some threes. Hit 17 of 25. Did Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr on fire from the corner. Look at the rhythm he's got. Very nice.
And Cheryl Miller is with Steve Kerr. Cheryl.
Steve, obviously you were feeling it. It really seemed like you were taking your time, being very patient, got yourself into a really nice rhythm.
Well, I've been in this contest so many times, I feel like I've learned some things, and one is you have to relax. And I got off to a slow start, but settled down and started getting into a rhythm.
All right, I just got the other guys on the bench a little worried about that rhythm. Let's go back to the table.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. 21 points. That's going to be tough to beat. He ran racks 3 and 5 to get those 21 points. And our next competitor is going to be Glenn Rice, who won in 1995. This will be his 4th A&T shootout. He's 29 years old in his 8th NBA season. And Glenn Rice has been on fire in the regular NBA season. And you see what his numbers were from each rack in the first competition. You see his total 16. Remember, throw that out. Top 2 scores advance.
Yeah, the key here now is that you do have a number to shoot at. Before you just shoot it, now there's a number to shoot at. But they have to remember, you might not get 21, but if you get 19 or 18, you're still in this competition.
Now you see how he runs to the rack. It's really interesting. He crosses to the other side of the rack to pick up his ball. He doesn't go to the short side. He goes to the long side. Check him out. All the way around and back steps. Everybody's got a style. Everybody's got a different rhythm.
Well, he's better get into style and rhythm right now because he's way behind.
Well, you know, the last time he was behind, these 2 racks would play big dividends for him. He could really make up some ground right here.
Well, he said he likes the last rack, but right now, it looks like his rhythm is not good. He needs to get real hot, real quick. And he's doing it.
Well, he's just at the 10-second mark. He only can get 9 seconds. He's going to have a tough time finishing this.
This will count. He did hit that for a score of 14. So before we rule him out, the next two competitors will have to do better than 14 to eliminate Glenn Rice. It's almost certain that Steve Kerr with his 21 will be in. The top two scores will advance. And let's take a look at Glenn Rice, who won this in 1995.
Well, I think there's a little more pressure in the second round. When you're shooting against a guy, you know, not everybody's looking at you. Right now, the second round can be a little more pressurized. But check him out. He goes to the other side every time.
And Cheryl Miller's with Glenn. Cheryl.
So, Glenn, how'd that feel? You know, second round seemed a little tighter, huh?
Second round was a little tighter. I really couldn't get it to go in for me, and sometimes it happened like that.
You feel comfortable with the score?
Not really. Not really. I wish it could have been maybe 4 points higher.
All right, we'll see what happens. Let's go back to you, Bob.
I think he's probably right on the money there, needing to be 4 point higher. Kerr with 21, Rice 14. Our next competitor is Tim Legler, who hit all 5 on the last rack to finish second in the opening round with 17. And Tim Legler, the defending champion, and fellas, as you commented before, it looks as though his right knee injury hasn't bothered him. He was shooting pretty smoothly.
Yeah, he really was. And I think the last two guys have a great advantage because now you have two numbers. You know, 21 is a number that if you beat, you're definitely in. And you also know all you have to do is beat 420.
Doc, I think that's tough. I think that makes it tougher because you got the pressure of the number. Beating the number is not the case. You just have to knock down as many balls as you can. And the money ball, bang, Legler with the money ball right there is most important.
Yeah, I like pressure, Reggie.
Oh, okay. We're going to go there. Okay. Okay, it's on now. You're just mad because I busted you earlier. But, you know, everybody's talking about Legler didn't have a chance because he was hurt. Hey, his knee was hurt, not his arm. And like we talked about before, he's probably been working at this a lot more than the other guys because he hasn't been playing.
Yeah, he hasn't played one game this year, has Tim Legler.
Well, he has definitely had more practice time behind the three because he's not running a lot. The one thing they said he can do is shoot, and he said he's been shooting a lot.
Big ball right there.
You can see that Glenn Rice is eliminated. And now the top two are Steve Kerr and Tim Legler. Hit 4 money balls, did Legler. And Tim will almost certainly advance, but we'll have to wait and see Walt Williams. Walt Williams was a surprise leader in the first round. Taking a look at the form of Tim Legler. 6'4", 30 years old, 7th year in the league. And Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Bob. Well, Tim, a lot of people were wondering how you would fare with haven't played half a season, but man, you didn't miss too much out there.
I was wondering that myself, Cheryl, after 10 months of without playing any, 5-on-5 organized basketball. But I'm starting to feel healthy again, and I thought maybe I have a good shot if I get up to a good start.
Feel good about the score?
I don't know if 19 is going to be good enough, but I'm hoping.
All right, Tim. All right, let's go back to you, Bob.
Historically, 19's been pretty good here.
Yeah.
So 21 and 19, those two are the leaders now. But Walt Williams, here's something for you two fellas to consider. He has set for a while. He was the first shooter in round 1 and is the last shooter here in round 2. Might that affect him?
Yeah, it will, because one of the things he told me in the locker room before this, he wanted to stay loose and get into it right away. It's tough to get into it when you've been sitting that long. It'll bother him a lot on that first shot.
But you know what? Look at the way he shoots. He almost shoots a set shot in the air. See how he takes it, cocks it on his face? That's a pretty good-looking three-point shot for a big fellow like that. Nice rhythm. Look at the follow-through. I like what I see with him right now.
It comes a lot easier when you're that big. And that's the problem I have with Legler later on in this last round. If he makes it, is will his legs stand up? Because, no, he didn't hurt his legs, but he hasn't been using his legs.
Well, see, Doc, as a shooter to somebody else, I can tell you that your arm don't get tired when it's going in. Legler's on fire. Let him go.
Walt Williams now needs to beat 19 to avoid elimination. And he's going to have to get hot quick. He has 1 rack, missed the money ball, 10 seconds. Will he finish the rack?
No, he has no chance of finishing that rack.
He's right there. You saw him pause and look up at the clock. Just like you said, Doc, no chance.
So, Steve Kerr and Tim Legler will advance. Kerr with 21 and Legler with 19. And those will be our finalists, Legler and Kerr. Kerr, the all-time leader in field goal percentage from three-point land in the NBA against last year champion Tim Legler. We'll be back with that in just a moment.
NBA All-Star Saturday night on TNT is brought to you by the new Dodge. From cars to minivans to trucks, it's about change. And by AT&T.
Which pickup
Roundup, do you suppose, has the most powerful gasoline engine, the most powerful diesel, the most cab room, the most available towing, the most available payload, better resale value than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. If you guess Dodge Ram, you hit it right on the nose. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed. Now lease a Ram for as little as $219 a month.
Man, cold. You said it.
There's something going on here. Looking for a way to warm up this winter? Come to Wendy's.
You look like you could use a couple of spicy chicken sandwiches.
Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich is a whole breast filet, seasoned with Dave's own blend of pepper and spices. It's got a spicy hit that'll make you feel warm all over.
Surf's up. We got to get another one.
Come in this winter and warm up with a Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich.
Steve Kerr, as we're going to look at a reenactment here of the coin toss.
Coin toss to determine the order of competition for the final round. The winner of the coin toss has the option to shoot first or second. The loser will have his choice of baskets. Gentlemen.
Okay, Steve Kerr won the toss. And here's Craig Sager with another excellent three-point shooter, Scottie Pippen.
Well, you know, Bob, nobody wins more than the Chicago Bulls. What are Steve Kerr's chances? What do you think here?
Well, great. You know, I think these guys are here on the sideline going to try to distract him, but, you know, he's going to do fine. You know, I felt like coming in to this game tonight, he was going to do well. So hopefully he can take it. He's gotten this far.
Thanks a lot. Back to you, Bob.
This is the first time Steve Kerr's been in the finals. His highest he's finished in three appearances prior to this has been third. So he won. He's elected to shoot first.
Bob, I'm telling you, he's loose. He wants this bad. He knows he is due. Steve Kerr wanted to go first, and I agree with that. I don't want to chase someone else's score. I want to lead this pack. I want someone chasing my score.
And I like chasing the scores. I like having to go after, give me a number. You know what it really comes down to? It says, never underrate the heart of a champion. And that's this guy who's shooting next.
Well, that's all right, but he's going to have to beat this score. Steve Kerr is on fire. Check him out. He may not miss, Doc.
He is on fire.
He may not miss. Look at him.
He runs the rack on the third rack.
And you know what? We forget he's a champion also.
That's right. That's right.
He had hit 8 in a row until that miss.
All he can think about is Michael Jordan still in the lane. Kick it out to me. I'm wide open, baby. Give it to me.
This is a big three shots here.
This is the biggest, the money ball.
Oh, yes.
And a score of 22.
Oh, there's going to have to be some shooting in here.
Yes, it is. I tell you what.
Steve Kerr hit all 5 of the 2-point money ball.
That's right. He told me when he took the money ball, when he gets it in his hand, he takes a little extra time with it because he knows that is a key ball.
Doc, he didn't work out at all on this year. Before, he had worked 5 and 6 days constantly because he took it so serious. This time, he said, I want to come in and just be loose. Just let it happen for me. And that's what's going on with him.
Well, he's letting it happen. He's letting it happen. He's feeling it. You can see it, and he's looking right at the rim.
This ties for the second best score in a final round. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
You're over here breathing a little heavy. Hey, what was the first thing out of your mouth? You're glad you went first. Is that the key?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to win the toss because Tim's liable to put up a 23 or 24, and I knew I had to put some pressure on him, so glad I won the toss.
All right, let's see what happens here. Bob?
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Now, the highest score of any round, the record is 25. Craig Hodges scored in round 1 back in 1986. The highest score in the finals, Mark Price in 94 with 24. So Tim Legler, who had 19 in the semifinals, remember the scores don't carry forward. Will have to beat 22, the defending champion, Tim Legler.
Doc, you think Legler's not thinking about that 22?
Oh, absolutely. But I like thinking about it. And if he's a competitor, he likes it also, as you can see right now.
And the boy can shoot. No question. A huge start. Just so confident, man.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I take from watching Tim Legler. He believes every shot's going in. He is really comfortable right
Heck,
now.
I believe it too. Now I'm sitting there watching him.
Steve Kerr ran 8 in a row right at this point.
Yeah, this is key. He needs to on the little row.
Oh, that's going to hurt him.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt him big. He's got to run. He's got to run one of these racks.
That's didn't run that one. That was 2 out of 3. 4 out of 5 on that rack.
We have got a chance.
Oh, it's over now.
Yep, that's it.
Steve Kerr will carry on the tradition of the Chicago Bulls.
Finally
winning. Even though Tim Legler hit the money ball, Steve Kerr, finally a champion here in Cleveland. The all-time three-point field goal percentage leader in the history of the NBA.
I told you it was his turn.
And the players are all upset in the NBA. They're tired of Chicago. They're tired of Chicago winning everything. They want somebody else. That's exactly what Scottie Pippen is saying right now.
The guy deserves it. He never made it to the finals before, and he got his shot this time. Magic Johnson having a good time. He turned out to be a pretty good three-point shooter in the latter part of his career, too.
So Steve Kerr played for Phoenix, Cleveland, and Orlando when he was selected 50th overall in the draft back in 1988. Now with the world champion Bulls, and he is the 1997 AT&T Shootout winner here in Cleveland. The legendary Memphis Recording Service played a prominent part in rock and roll history as artists such as Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison recorded there in the 50s and 60s. And there's the presentation of the trophy at $20,000. Earl Quinzel, the Vice President of Marketing Programs, Consumer Long Distance for AT&T, with the presentation for Steve Kerr. And yes, ho-hum, another win for the 42-6 Bulls. Just what they needed to build a little more confidence. Joins Craig Hodges, who also won this previously. And speaking of Craig Sager with Steve Kerr.
Well, they're mentioning about the Bulls winning everything. It's nice to have the ring that you have, but an individual honor like this has to mean a lot to you.
It is pretty nice. I mean, I'm kind of known for my three-point shooting, and yet I haven't been able to win this competition before, so it's fun to win.
What was the difference this year? Why did you win it this year? Why were you so confident?
I was much more relaxed. The first 3 years I prepared pretty hard and was really very intense, and this year I just tried to relax, and I didn't prepare at all, and I felt much better.
Are pure shooters born or developed? How did you get this knack of
little of each. I mean, I could shoot pretty well when I was young, but I've had to work at it too. But I don't know. This is great. It's a lot of fun.
You're on a team with Superman, Batman, and Rodman, with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman. You've been with 4 different teams. When you walk into the locker room come Tuesday with this trophy, you gotta strut your stuff.
I'm gonna show Michael this trophy and kiss it, kind of like he did when he won his first title. You know, this is my first title, I guess.
I know Nicholas, your son, wants to grab it, so thanks for being with us.
All right, thanks, Craig.
All right, now let's go back to Bob.
All right, he needs a nickname. How about Kerplunk? Steve Kerr wins over Tim Legler, the defending champion. Rice was 3rd, followed by Walt Williams, John Stockton, Dale Ellis, Terry Mills, and Sam Perkins finished 8th and finds last. The final 4 there get $1,000, but Steve Kerr will take home $20,000 for winning the AT&T Shootout. Coming up next now, the pièce de résistance, the cherry on the sundae, the slam dunk. Some of the greatest slam dunkers in the history of the game help set the tone for the dunk competition. How about Connie Hawkins, the legendary, Dr. J, and Air Jordan. Slam dunk coming up.
On TNT at the controls of the Goodyear blimp tonight, Captain John Moran, and the cameraman is Richard Morker. Thanks for being with us tonight on TNT. Ernie Johnson and Chuck Daly back inside Gund Arena where the AT&T Shootout just took place, and we watched Steve Kerr finally win that thing. Somewhere tonight, Susan Lucci is smiling because Steve Kerr, the all-time leader in three-point percentage in the NBA, wins it tonight. Your thoughts on what we just saw out there?
Well, it was fitting, and there were some surprises. Some people you expected to do well just didn't handle it very well, but that's part of the whole contest, and Kerr deserves to win.
Well, I kind of picked Terry Mills in that thing, but I guess it saves himself a kiss from Doug Collins again. He only had 11 in the
He was looking forward to it, too.
Exactly. Now, the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk is coming up next. 13 years they've had the contest. There have been 10 winners. Jordan won it twice. Dominique Wilkins won it twice. So did Harold Miner. There have been some tremendous moments since 1984 when it was a guy named Larry Nance remember Larry Nance, of course. And he's doing them with Dr. J, Chuck, and Larry Nance, the first winner.
Yeah, take a look at this. How about two? These guys kind of set the standard for this contest, and it's become so popular.
A couple years later, in his hometown of Dallas, the story was this guy, Spud Webb.
Yeah, the smallest guy in the contest, and perhaps, I guess, the smallest guy to ever win it. And there's your 360.
Now, a couple of times, especially in Chicago in '88, maybe it was some home cooking that gave Michael Jordan the win over Dominique.
Don't think so. He's flying.
Tough to beat. The next year, an emotional win for Kenny Walker. His dad had died that week. He decided to go ahead and take part. An inspiring performance by Sky Walker, claiming the 1989 title.
Well, he had the nickname.
He certainly did. 91. Here's a stroke of marketing genius by D. Brown.
Yeah, he set this whole thing up, paid off beautifully for him. He didn't even look at that one.
Well, neither did Cedric Sabalos in 1992, though the jury's still out on whether you can see through the blindfold.
We've all been there with the pinholes, right?
Must have been big pinholes were set. Well, he was right on target there, and he won it in 92. A couple of years later, it was Isaiah Ryder who he said on draft day, I'm going to come to the league, and I'm going to win this thing, and by golly, he did it.
He did win it, and he's still dunking them. How about this? Through the leg, got it. What a tremendous athlete.
So we didn't have much luck in our predictions on the AT&T shootout, but we will boldly go now and decide who's going to win this thing tonight. Who do you like in the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk tonight?
I'm going to take Bryant.
Are you really? I'm doing the same thing. He's only 18 years old, and here's a guy who's got a lot of flavor, as Reggie Theus would say. He's going to do some stuff up there, and he's young, and he already played tonight and had 31 points. He's trying to make it his own personal showcase tonight.
That, in fact, might be a problem. His legs might be dead.
Yeah, well, don't forget, too, about Bobby Sura, who's the hometown hero here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. There is Bobby Sura. It's coming up soon, but when we come back, Chuck and I will talk about the first half of the NBA season, the surprises so far. We'll be right back. Flutes in preparing for the final event of the night, the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. Ernie Johnson and Chuck Daly back at you. No surprise in the first half of the season that the Chicago Bulls went 42-6, best record in hoops. What did surprise you, Chuck, about the first half?
Well, the thing that surprised me was the Detroit Pistons. Quite frankly, they've got an MVP candidate in Grant Hill. He has really come around. Doug Collins is up for Coach of the Year. And the other one's the Atlanta Hawks, and I think they have a tremendous upside. Had a lot of new faces, and I think they're going to make waves in the playoffs.
And Christian Laettner being able to play in position now and having an all-star year. Meantime, with the Detroit Pistons, only two teams in basketball have better records than Detroit. One of the big reasons, of course, is Grant Hill, who is standing by now with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, thanks, Ernie. Chuck was just mentioning a surprise. The Pistons, with their record, intelligent players, they know how to play or allowed to play. But are you surprised with your record at this point in the season?
What does Chuck mean is a surprise? No, I think we definitely have surprised everybody with Allen Houston leaving and not really signing a big free agent. We've come back with the same bunch of guys, and we've been able to do well and win thus far. And I think guys are unselfish, guys have no egos, and guys are playing together.
Is the game easier for you now this year because obviously you have the confidence, you miss a couple shots, you'll still take them?
The game's easy. I just think it's a natural process of growing and getting better and maturing, and the game's easy not only for myself but for all my teammates.
All right, thanks. One final word for Chuck up there?
Yeah, Chuck, he's from Detroit, man. I thought he'd look out for us, but, I guess we're all surprised. So, but I didn't expect that from Chuck.
He said you'd do well in the playoffs, though.
I hope so.
All right, thanks.
I'm telling you what, Grant Hill, the Detroit Pistons, enjoying a tremendous year. We'll see if there's anybody who's a threat to the Chicago Bulls, though, in the East.
Well, it's going to be difficult, but I think somewhere along the line, they're going to have a little bit of difficulty with a Western team. Last year, New York played them the best of all, and nobody's talking about New York, but they can play defense.
Well, Grant Hill and the Detroit Pistons going to be the focus on Turner Sports a couple of times in the coming week. We're going to have Detroit and Miami Tuesday on TNT, 8 o'clock Eastern, as Doug Collins' guys go down to South Florida. Then they're at home the next night against the Orlando Magic on TBS. Friday night, this could be a doozy. Atlanta hosting Chicago. Back with a slam dunk in a minute. And welcome back to All-Star Saturday on TNT from Cleveland, Ohio, and the home of the Cavs, Gund Arena. Let's preview the evening's final event from the Shaquille O'Neal, tear that sucker down wing of the Walk of Fame. As we salute some of the great jammers of all time, guys who could get people up off their feet all over the country. Let me demonstrate for you. All I'm going to need is one thin quarter, which I don't have. Maybe this will do. There you go. Jimi Hendrix. Guy could play a little bit. And there's the unmistakable style of Chuck Berry. Now, if you're going to gather some NBA greats to put on their own jam session, where would you begin? Well, I got three pretty good dunkers to start with. Julius Erving, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins. You know, Dr. J grabbed our attention back during the ABA days with his high-wire acrobatics. He later brought those to the NBA. Dominique Wilkins, twice a slam dunk champion. And Michael Jordan, twice a champion, 1987 and 1988. Who's going to steal the show in 1997? We're about to find out. It's time for the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk.
Thanks, Ernie. Back to Gund Arena. We have 3 rookies and 3 second-year players. 23's the oldest, 18 the youngest. Let's meet them now. Let's go to PA announcer Jeff Shreve.
And now, here are the competitors in the 1997 Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. A powerful 6'7" rookie with explosive leaping ability. He won the slam dunk contest at the Final Four last year. From the Denver Nuggets, Darvin Ham. The runner-up in last year's contest, this Dallas Maverick has a quick first step and incredible elevation. Michael Finley. One of the most exciting players on one of the league's young and improving teams. From the Minnesota Timberwolves, Chris Kerr. Another rookie and the youngest player in the competition. From the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant. A two-time All-American, he's an outstanding shooter with great leaping ability. From the Milwaukee Bucks, Ray Allen. At 6'5", this second-year guard is the shortest competitor. From your Cleveland Cavaliers, Bob Sura. Ladies and gentlemen, the participants in the 1997 Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk.
I don't know.
All right, those are the competitors. Let's look at the rules now. 2 rounds, each scored separately. First round, each player must attempt 3 dunks. And an important note there, the maximum number of points can be earned will be 50. 1 overall score will be awarded for all 3. We'll explain that further. The finals is simply the best score out of 2 dunks. And we have 5 judges: Walt Frazier, George Gervin, Bob Lanier, Dr. J, Lisa Leslie. Here's the money, the slam dunk prize money, the same as in the AT&T shootout for the Nestle's Crunch Slam Dunk. First place winner, $20,000. 5th and 6th places each get $1,000. And there are the judges. There's Walt Frazier, George Gervin, Bob Lanier, Julius Erving, and for the first time, a female, Lisa Leslie at 6'5". She'll be playing for the LA franchise of the WNBA. Lisa can dunk.
Yeah, she probably has more dunks than Walt Frazier. Walt Frazier was a jump shooter. He wasn't a dunker. And George Gervin liked the finger roll.
Remember now, 3 dunks. First competitor, Chris Kerr, 22-year-old, second-year player, 56 pick. Phoenix, then signed as a free agent with Minnesota this year. He has 3, will get 1 score on the performance of all 3. This will be the second attempt.
And he's named his dunks. He's got a couple of names for him. Ooh, nice.
Is that the new night?
Oh, no. He's got one he's going to touch off the glass. He's got one called the windmill. Touch off the glass in 360. That's what I think he's going to go for now.
That's the windmill, but he missed it. Now remember, the judges will take a look at all 3 of those and award 1 score. Each judge can award a score as high as 10. So that means that the maximum a player can earn in his scoring with all 5 judges would be 50 points. Here are the 2 that were successful for Chris Kerr from Minnesota.
Chris Kerr, a combination of power and finesse.
Nice. Not a whole lot of elevation on that, but it looked good. I can't give him a 10 on that one.
No, you know, the thing he's doing different now that he didn't do last year in this, he knows the crowd is there. One key thing in this event this year is there's no clock. You can see him taking his time, gathering himself, and doing the dunks. That miss will hurt him.
And his composite score on those three from the judges is 44. Remember, the maximum to be earned is 50. Now, our second competitor is a man who came in here to replace Allen Iverson, who couldn't compete because of a sore shoulder. His name is Darvin Ham. You may not have seen him play very much. He came out of Texas Tech, and Texas Tech went into the Sweet 16 last year. He won the NCAA Slam Dunk, and you may remember him if you watched the NCAA tournament for the man who shattered the backboard last year. He's 23 years old, and there it is. If he shatters it here, he may win. Power dunk with Darvin Ham.
It's all power with Darvin Ham. You can see that. He said that, I don't know what I'm going to do, Reggie. I'm going to go out there and figure it out. If I see somebody do something I like, I'm going to do that dunk, but do it better. He's very confident and cocky.
He is, but what he's doing right now, the first two, he went too quickly. Yeah. Now he's taking his time. I think this is going to be his build-up dunk right here, Red.
Remember, he just has 3.
Oh! Now that was tough. You don't understand it. That wasn't easy. It didn't look pretty, but it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy, but sometimes the normal guy who doesn't know a lot about dunks doesn't know how tough that is, Reggie. You hope that the judges do, but we do, but I don't think the fans did, and that's why you didn't hear the big applause.
Well, when he went up and paused, watch him pause. Oh, that's just a windmill there, but look at the power of Darvin Ham.
This is the second dunk for Darvin Ham.
Oh, yes. Jackknife between the legs.
Too.
Now look at him pause. Watch him pause. Hello. Turn around. Off the glass. He tipped the glass on that one.
These judges don't know him very well. They have not respected his dunking either. Only 36 points.
And you know what caused him? What caused him is he went too quick. He didn't build the crowd. He didn't bring the crowd into it, and that cost him. I thought his dunk was better than Kerr, but he didn't play the crowd as well as Kerr did.
Like I said in the open, guys, it's all a show. When you walk on the floor, they start judging you.
Ray Allen with a beauty to get it open. Ray Allen, 21 years old, came after his junior year out from University Connecticut. Of course, plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's his second attempt.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Very smooth. But look, nobody's really getting the crowd into it. Nobody's playing to the crowd. You'll get much more of a reaction if you let the crowd into the game.
Missed his third dunk. Now, the top score so far was from our first dunker, Chris Kerr, who was awarded a composite score of 44, only 36 points for Darvin Ham. And remember, 3 advance. Here are the 3 dunks.
Where you saw that was a touch on the hip and touch on the knee. That was a nice dunk.
The thing with Ray Allen, and Reggie, you hit on it, is he's smooth.
Very smooth.
Smooth is great in basketball.
Very
smooth is not good in dunk contests. You don't want to be smooth. You want to be powerful. You want to be mean, and you want to be aggressive.
Check this out. All these guys, when they're playing in the game during the season, they make a dunk, they go rah to the crowd and everything else. Now they get out here where it's showtime, and they're quiet.
And look at this. Now, that's a surprise. Only 35 points have been awarded to Ray Allen. So Chris Kerr way out in front. And remember, of these 6, the top 3 will advance. Now, some people feel that our next dunker is the favorite. He is 18 years old, 6'6", Kobe Bryant from the Lakers.
And I think he is the favorite for one reason. A lot of people thought he should have won the MVP in the rookie game. So he's comfortable, too.
Oh! Yeah. But look at his style. Look at his rhythm. Check out the way he walks. He's cocky. He looks cocky. Check him out. Eye contact with the crowd. They love this kid.
He was doing this at this time last year at Lower Marion High School in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. Uh-oh, that'll hurt him.
That's going to hurt him bad. He says, I'm not going to tell anybody what my dunks are, but keep it to just surprise people.
I think you should get points for the fact that it ricocheted all the way into the
almost hit Bobby Sir in the head.
I think you should get points for wearing purple shoes out there.
Kobe Bryant.
Or his eyes checked.
18 and a half years old, third dunk. Oh, that was big. Went down between his legs and got the reverse jam. But these judges have been very, very tough. Scores of 36 and 35 on the 2 previous competitors. Score to beat here is 44. Let's take a look at the 3 from Kobe Bryant.
I I tell you what, Bob, he missed one, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to give this guy a higher score. They understand that he should have won the MVP. A lot of people think he should have won the MVP.
I like the fact that these judges are tough and they're not just giving away dunks here.
Look how tough. Only 37 for Kobe Bryant.
Wow, I'm surprised by
Finley will have to better 37. 3 advance. Now, here's the local favorite. This could influence the judges. This is Bob Sura. He's the shortest competitor, 6'5", 23 years old, second year from Florida State, their all-time leading scorer, and he can jump.
I know he can jump, but he's going to have to show me something. I haven't seen him do much yet. He's going to have to show me because during the season, I see Bobby Sura dunk the ball hard, but he does it only one way, over the top with the one hand over the middle. That's his dunk.
Well, he has a great advantage, Reggie. If he can pull something off, he has a great chance of getting the crowd.
Well, he's going to really have to pull it off now. Oh, it was nice height. He threw it up nice, but it was a weak dunk, fellas.
Yeah, he's in trouble, and he's at home, and the crowd's not into it.
But you know what?
Him right
you got some legends over here. They're not going to bend. This crowd's not going to weigh them.
That was a smart idea. Remember, that does not count against him if he decides not to make the attempt. There is no shot clock.
I've never liked to toss to Bob. You got to do it perfect, and he did it once. He did a toss twice, and I think that'll hurt him also.
I think so, too.
I don't know.
Right now, Kobe Bryant is second with 37. Chris Kerr is 44. So to eliminate Darvin Ham, our final competitor, Michael Finley, will have to have better than 36.
See, that was a nice toss, but look, no elevation, didn't get any hops on it, no extension, didn't have time for the cameras to snap his picture.
I don't know if it was elevation or time, either one. It didn't look that good.
Hey, you got to give time. See, when you get up there, Bob, you got to pose for the camera.
And his score reflects that, 35. So that means that Bob Sura will not advance. So our top 3 at this point are Kerr, Bryant, and Ham. And Michael Finley has to beat 36 to advance. Michael Finley, second year. He finished second last year, Finley did, to Brent Barry, who won this competition. All-rookie selection last year. And he went to Dallas in that Jason Kidd trade out of University of Wisconsin.
Well, you know what, though? Look how he took his time. He's been here before. He's not a rookie at this. He knows how important it is, but he goes out and misses his first dunk, and that's been the cardinal sin here.
But the key thing that you guys are missing is he's from Proviso East High School.
So you're going to...
That only means that he was cold when he was going to school.
That's being at home here in Cleveland. Michael Finley out of Chicago, went to Wisconsin, now Dallas, was drafted by Phoenix, and here is his 3rd attempt. This is very big for him.
Well, I tell you what, so far, I haven't seen a guy dunk the ball better than Chris Kerr. Even that last dunk on Michael Finley, it was okay, but I've seen him dunk over people better than that.
I tell you what, you don't want Darvin Ham getting in the final.
That was big.
That was a nice one.
That was nice.
That was nice.
Now, the judges can award any score any way they want on these 3, remember. It's not each dunk that has to count. It's a composite score. So let's see what Michael Finley gets here. His number to beat is 36 to advance to the final 3.
I think that these judges are looking for something new. Right here, nice, smooth dunk. But really, you know, that right there, to me, is worth as much as anything, what he's doing right now.
He's also a veteran of the competition, and the judges may appreciate that. And they do. He gets 39 points, which is the second highest total. That means that Chris Kerr, Michael Finley, and Kobe Bryant will advance to the finals. Ham, Allen, and Sura have been eliminated. We'll be back to Gund Arena. That was a look at the competition. You know, as I look back, and again, the judges don't have this ability, though, but those 3 dunks that were made by Darvin Ham were pretty darn good. But here are the finalists in descending order. Kobe Bryant, Michael Finley, and Kerr. And Finley, of course, and Kerr, both former Phoenix Suns players, now with different teams. And the first player to go will be the 18-year-old Kobe Bryant.
And I think he's has the most charisma of the three so far. I tell you, the first round, Michael Finley understood to play the crowd. I think he got points at the end, that last dunk.
Absolutely.
Where you start punching at the crowd.
Absolutely.
He plays it up. You have to get the crowd involved. Sometimes you're too cool, you're too smooth, you're too confident. You can't get guys in it. Kobe understands that, I hope, and he'll do it this time.
Just about losing his drawers got the crowd involved there. Certainly got the producer and director very involved. Now, this is the final round. 3 players advance. Each player will attempt 2 dunks here on a
dribble between the legs. He's dunking between his legs.
Let's see what the judges give him. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
There's the Hulkster, and look at the score. Watch this.
Oh, yeah.
49 out of 50 for Kobe Bryant. Now, remember, it's the best score out of 2. Each competitor will dunk 1 time through, then they'll do it again. So our second dunkster is Michael Finley. Runner-up last year to Brent Barry.
You can see the difference. He's taking his time, Bob. He's taking his time. He's trying to get the crowd involved a little bit.
I didn't like that.
Oh, I like that one. I might have been able to grab that and dunk it.
It almost went in without it.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
That's why he said he could have grabbed it.
Oh, a cartwheel on it!
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Now.
Oh, I can't believe he tried that.
I tell you what.
Oh, my God.
He should get 54 for taking a chance. Oh, my. I tell you what, I've never heard a crowd cheer hard over a miss.
I don't know if they were cheering. I think they were laughing.
Nobody's ever done this one.
First of all, it was a terrible cartwheel.
Give him a skirt. Give him a skirt, guys.
Oh, my.
You know what? Give the guy credit for trying something new.
But the judges are going to penalize him for missing, and he gets a grand total of only 33. But remember now, it's not the composite here. It's the best of the 2. So Chris Kerr, who had the best performance in round 1, will get the first of his 2 here. Only 1 score counts. It's the best of their 2 scores.
You know, the big advantage that Chris Kerr has right here is look how long his arms are. This guy can stand straight up and scratch his kneecap. Unbelievable length of his arms. And he said he can't wait. He hopes Finley and him get into the finals because he can really go at his buddy. Oh! You have to understand what that was, Bob. Let me hit you to this.
Right.
When he got up there, he torqued his body twice before he dunked that. Now, the judges may know that. Some of these people who never dunked the ball wouldn't know that.
Dr. J would know that.
Dr. J, maybe Bob Lanier on the tip dunk, Lisa Leslie would know.
Check this out. Watch him when he goes up. Watch the torque on his body. Yag it, yag it.
Yag it? What's that?
I don't know.
Listen, fellas. Only us dunkers know what that's all about.
And the judges say on that for Chris Kerr, he gets 42. Now, these scores don't matter unless they don't perform as well on their next dunk. The best of the 2. But Kobe Bryant's already sitting on a 49. Yeah. So what we know is that one of these fellas is going to have better than a 49 to beat Kobe Bryant no matter what Kobe does on this dunk. That means that Kobe Bryant now has the ability to let it all hang out. He's got a 49 in the bank.
Well, Bob, he said that he was going to pull him out as he got on the court, and the degree of difficulty in that first dunk is what got him the huge score. You see Brandy over there cheering on her buddy. He took her to the prom. They're very good friends in L.A.
Took her to the prom.
Isn't that funny?
Talking about an 18-year-old here. You just reminded me, Reggie. Here we go.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Well, he's going to have to ride with his 49.
I'll take that.
Oh, that's a good gamble for him. Yeah. That was a unbelievable, difficult shot, but he tried it because he already has a 49.
Well, you gotta give him
Go for it. Go for it, exactly.
But look, he almost got it through the legs and, just got hung just a little bit.
You're used to that part of the
I have never gotten hung before in my life. Because when I dunk, I make sure.
Kobe Bryant is so athletic. I've done several Lakers games this year. Sometimes he gets his body so contorted he loses control. you can understand it, being 18 years old. Only a 35.5 on that dunk, but throw it out. Right now, the number to beat is the score Kobe Bryant had on his first dunk in the finals of 49. Here comes Michael Finley. He's got to beat 49.
Bob, that means he's got to be better than perfect to get a 50. Better than perfect.
Well, he's going with two balls.
Larry
Now, check this out. Check this out. One ball is new and the other ball is a little bit old.
Yeah.
That could make a difference.
But
You're going to have better grip on one than the other.
That's very true, Reggie.
Oh, good good.
I'll tell you what, both of his dunks were extremely tough, and that's probably why
You know what? I tell you what, he came up with those dunks in his sleep.
Yes.
You know, come on.
Are you saying he was dreaming?
He was dreaming. You got to, you know what? Larry Nance is 6'10". He could get up with two balls because he's up over the square when he gets up. He didn't even have a chance to get one of those balls in.
There's Kobe cheering against the competitor. Kobe.
Oh, Kobe.
Kobe.
Well, he's a kid.
Hey.
No, he's doing what he should do. He wants to win.
That was only 30.5, so Finley's eliminated. The only hope now is for Chris Kerr to do better. Now, he can do better than 49 and not get 50, in other words, because there are tenths of points that can be awarded by the judges. But he's got to have better than a 49, and he knows it.
Yeah, and he's picking on a high school legend, too.
Now, you're talking about Chris Kerr. Now, remember, he's got a dunk called the windmill, and one he touches it off the glass and goes 360.
Well, he might have to do them both.
That's not going to get it.
No.
I don't think that'll win. If not, Kobe Bryant will be our slam dunk champion.
Bob, I'm going out on the line. I'm going out on the line here. I think Kobe's got this, guys.
Yeah.
How's that for stepping up, fellas?
Yeah, I think Kobe has it. And you know what? Kobe was the fan favorite in his dunk.
Well, you know, he had an advantage, fellas, because he played in the rookie game just before this and had 31 points. So these fans have been cheering him on all morning.
Yeah, they were happy. I think everyone wanted to see Kobe Bryant do well. I don't think a lot of people picked him to win. I did.
Well, I had him or Darvin. I was very happy to see him get off.
Yeah, I would like to have seen Darvin Ham get in the finals. The judges award Chris Kerr 45-8, which is the second best score of the night, but that's all it is second best. Kobe Bryant, 18-year-old rookie out of Lower Merion High School in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, straight to the NBA, to Hollywood, and now to Cleveland, and is the 1997 Slam Dunk champion. Let's have a look at Kobe.
And look at the style. Look at the presence of mind. This kid is 19 years old. He has presence of mind, a fan, and everything else. The only thing you hope, Reggie, is he doesn't have the slam dunk winner curse after this.
Oh, no. Kobe's a very confident, and he's got his head on straight, guys. I see him all the time at the Laker games. This kid is for real.
Craig Sager with Kobe Bryant.
Well, obviously impressed all of our announcers, but I talked to Dr. J moments ago. He said he came up out of his seat. The first time he's done that as a judge, he said it was shock value. What was your plan going in?
I just wanted to come in and, try the best that I could. I know everybody on the, in the dunking competition had a whole lot of time. I didn't know when anybody had plans to sleep. So I just kind of came to the dunk contest and played everything by ear.
After scoring 31 points but not getting the MVP in the rookie game, did that psych you up even more for this?
Sure. I mean, you want to win as much as you can. Coming in, in the NBA dunk contest, I was psyched up as it is. So, it just pumped me up a little bit more.
A year ago in high school, making the big move. What do you tell your friends back home now that came to see you? They're here this weekend rooting you on.
Well, thanks for being in the gym with me and helping me on my dunks and all that stuff and all that good stuff. Thanks for your support right now, and can't wait to see you when I get back home.
A couple all-star teammates, Shaquille O'Neal, Eddie Jones. Expect a lot out of the Lakers second half?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're trying to gel together as a team right now. We've done a good job later on in the first part of the season, and the second half, hopefully, we can do the same.
If you got time later, could you show that move to Reggie Theus and Doc Rivers?
Sure. Reggie actually taught me that.
Kobe Bryant wins the slam dunk.
Oh, and
He wasn't supposed to tell, Bob. He wasn't supposed to tell.
You're not, that's cheating. And listen, Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan would be impressed with his total. 80-point night for Bryant. 31 in the rookie game and 49 in the slam dunk.
The slam dunk, and Hubie Brown's here along with Chuck Daly. And let's look ahead to the All-Star game, guys. And On the Western Conference side of things, Rudy Tomjanovich doesn't have the Chuck Wagon, doesn't have Clyde Drexler, doesn't have Shaq. What's he got?
Yeah, well, you know, he's missing power, rebounding, charisma, and a lot of points. But I like what they've added. When you say Detlef Schrempf, you're talking about a six-man of the year twice. He's been in the All-Star game. All-around player, can do a lot of things. But I'm liking the other two replacements. Chris Gatling, it's nice that he's going to get into this game. Definitely challenging for the six-man of the year award. And then when you add Kevin Garnett, you're saying this is the guy for years to come that the fans are going to be hooping and hollering about. He's going to add a ton of charisma to this game.
He is pumped up about being here. Doug Collins has the Eastern Conference. What do you look for, Chuck?
I'm a traditionalist. Michael Jordan, 23.
What more do you have to say? You just give it to him and see what happens. And Grant Hill's not a bad guy to have on your side either. The game comes your way tomorrow, and of course you can catch it on NBC, the 47th annual NBA All-Star Game. 6 o'clock tomorrow evening on NBC. NBA action on Turner Sports resumes Tuesday on TNT. You got Detroit and Miami. Wednesday on TBS, the Magic and the Pistons. Friday on TNT, Chicago is in Atlanta. Up next on TNT, it's Above the Rim, starring Tupac Shakur. For all of us at Turner Sports, that's Chuck and Hubie and Bob and Dick and Cheryl and Reggie and Doc and Craig. I'm Ernie Johnson. Have a great night, and thanks for joining us here at Gund Arena for All-Star Saturday.